What's up, gang? Hope everybody's doing well. For all you returning guests, welcome back. If this is your first time here in the show, please like and subscribe on whatever platform you choose to listen to the show. We greatly appreciate that. You'll hear us mention in this episode the opportunity to collaborate and work with the PFF PNC Charitable Fund. Many more details coming out in that in the very near future. Anyway, episode 52, Dane Britt returns. If you've listened to any of the past episodes with Dane, then you know Dane is a very charismatic figure, always bringing a lot of positive energy. Anytime we have the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with him, we're going to take it. We had the privilege, Dane brought his great friend Solomon Harvey, American Ninja Warrior, stuntman, video stuntman, movie stuntman. We get to hear about his story and about how he climbed from nothing, from living on Dane's couch, all the way up into the person that he is today. A very compelling story, very inspiring. We very much enjoyed this episode and this time we got to spend with Dane and Solomon. Hope you all enjoy it as well. Leave a comment. Remember, like and subscribe, share with all your friends. Here's Dane.
Can we stop talking about this before the mics turn on? Because I feel like whatever you're about to say, there's going to be some gold shit coming out of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Was it the holistic chick?
Yeah, that's right.
It was the holistic chick?
Yeah.
We're already recording.
Yeah?
Of course, we always
Excellent. Well,
Her, when you scroll through.
Yes,
remember I was watching her the other day.
Yeah, she
There
talked
was
about
something
carrots and shit.
I missed that part.
Yeah.
So, seriously, whenever I was telling him the other day when we were talking about selling the show, using the female as the thumbnail. I don't know if y'all caught that. I think y'all caught that conversation. You didn't catch that conversation. I'll bring myself. Thank you. I'll see myself out. I think y'all caught. Yeah, you can go ahead. Y'all caught the conversations because y'all were in the group checks, but y'all didn't catch it. But seriously, anytime there's some kind of a female on these podcasts, and it doesn't matter whose podcast, it can be Rogan, it can be you guys, it doesn't matter. If there's an attractive female on the thumbnail, I'm always like, I wonder if she's like actually knows what she's talking about or whatever. So you click it. Like you instantly click it because you're like, whatever. If nothing else, I get to look at a chick instead of a bunch of hairy dudes. So there's that,
Yeah.
That's a good selling point. Like that's
always.
Sex sells, no matter what.
Always. Absolutely
Carl's Jr.
right.
for years, Hardy's, big tit girl on the commercial
Are we allowed
posters.
to say tits?
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah.
I'm a grown ass man. We can say whatever we want. Yeah.
So no, I am fully, wholeheartedly all about the. I think if it's going to attract attention and it's positive, and the coolest thing was once I got into the actual video, I was hooked. Like I was interested in the
That
stuff.
was a good show.
It was absolutely a great show. And a lot of times, I'll offend somebody. I don't care.
Welcome to the show.
Whenever I hear the word holistic, I instantly think about like hippies and rubbing crystals in their armpits and stuff like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
that real far fetched, like Solomon used to date one, and I just don't. Man, I get completely turned off by the extremism.
The hairy armpits. Are
Well, the whole like I'm gonna rub crystals in my armpits and I'm not gonna stink anymore.
Crystals 100% work. If they keep bad people out of your life, if you throw them hard enough.
I didn't know where this was going.
I was waiting for it.
He's absolutely right. Okay, well, he made a valid point.
Hey,
But-
how long has this been going on?
These sweet potatoes?
Yeah.
Since I went to the doctor a couple months back.
4
and
months.
4 months, and they were like, your cholesterol is high.
Out the roof.
Doesn't matter.
Your cholesterol is high.
Doesn't
and I was
matter.
like, all right, well, I'll just try to pick some different snacks. So this was a snack that, growing up, the lady that used to watch us, R.I.P. Francis, and her husband, R.I.P. JT. JT, they were like old school, like so old school, and they just taught me so many like great values and like cool things that stuck with. They would watch us in the afternoons. It was like me and 2 or 3 other kids that they would watch. And one of the things was like JT would be on the porch sometimes, and he'd be eating like they had pecan trees in the back. He'd be like eating pecans straight out of the tree. He'd be cutting up sweet potatoes, give us little pieces of sweet potatoes and apples and stuff like that. Like. It's just stuff like little stuff that they would teach us. Like as soon as we got to their house in the afternoons, we had to start doing our homework immediately before we could go outside. Stuff like that, like when you learn it at a young age, sticks with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Old school rules.
Absolutely. And I always, it's weird. Like I associate if I see a man cutting up a vegetable or a fruit or something like that with this knife like this, I think that's a man. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, no, I get it.
I'm like,
And I agree.
it's weird. Like we used to see like the guys that we thought were giants when we were kids. They do shit like this stuff. Yeah.
So I'm interested to hear about the cholesterol conversation. And your doctor told you that your cholesterol was high.
Right, and not just cholesterol, triglycerides as well, probably because
Okay.
of right. So I'm not one of those people that like as soon as he told me that, I was like,
I'm not stopping drinking Sundrop.
well, I cut back. Right, so I anything in moderation is great, and I know
You
that
drank
my
a
consumption
lot of
is not moderation. And Solomon and I have had many conversations about this before. Like you have to, make sure you're looking after stuff like that. Like if it starts getting to a point where you're consuming too much, and keep in mind, guys, we've had this conversation before. Before I had that conversation with the doctor, for multiple years, I have eaten pizza. This is probably our 20s, like for maybe 10 or 15 years. I've eaten pizza like 4 or 5 nights a week. Pizza.
Those
I
are
like
rookie
it.
numbers. We got to
Like-
get those
That's
numbers.
Like not a slice of pizza or couples, a whole pizza.
No, sir. Yeah.
4 nights a week.
Like, seriously, that was always my refuel. Like, as soon as I'd go out and ride the bicycle, whatever, do wheelies, practice, whatever, and then the pizza was the refuel because it's full of whatever it's full of.
Yeah.
But
Goodness.
apparently,
Everything
full of
your
what?
brain needs.
Goodness.
Mm,
Yeah.
right?
Fairy
Right.
dust.
Apparently, if you do that a lot, though, it's not moderation anymore. You
Yeah.
have to kind of watch that stuff. So
Well, if some is good, then more must be better. So,
that's the way y'all feel about alcohol, isn't it?
I mean, yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it depends.
Some days.
Yeah, it depends.
Understood.
It depends.
Solomon's like the only dude. So one of the few times that I've ever been almost drunk in my life was at Solomon's wedding. So they
Solomon's to blame a lot in all of this.
all the time, and it only as we go through this thing today, you're gonna see
It's
there's
like
more and more.
90% of the time, he just blames me the other 10.
Absolutely, yeah. So, Solomon's wedding, they were all getting ready and we're having a good time. It was actually a really good vibe, right? It was one of the few times I got to be in the wedding and enjoy myself rather than like DJing it or whatever.
Sure.
But we're all getting ready, having a good time, and then all of a sudden this liquor bottle comes out. What was it?
It was tequila.
It was tequila bottle, right? And there was like this fruit or something, right? So they were cutting up some fruit and they were salting or whatever, and we did the shot thing, and I was like, whoa, man, that was some shit. All right, cool. And then so we kind of hung out for a second, and then they did it again, and I was like, all right, dude.
By the way, it's like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
By the time we got ready to do his actual wedding part, I was like, man, please walk straight.
Yeah.
Please walk straight.
All you had to do was walk and stand.
Bro,
I
know.
had to memorize vowels and
That's
things
true.
that I had just written that morning.
Dude, I don't know how you pulled it off. Like that day was that day, you did good. You did a very good job. But it was a great wedding. Moral of the story. That's all I got. Anyways, Solomon Harvey, welcome to the party. Ow!
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we've heard all
welcome.
kinds of wonderful things about you. You know,
all lies, every last one.
Wonderful, yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Dane's a repeat offender on our show for some weird reason. He always invites himself back. I don't really know.
I do,
why.
absolutely.
Hey guys, I'm coming by. Be ready. Have a spot.
Y'all gonna be in
Drop
the
ready
studio?
for me.
Yeah. it's- hey, are y'all busy? I mean, I'd love to come talk.
I'd love to talk
I would
about
love to
me.
come talk. Yes. Have y'all seen the news or the social media? I'm in it.
That's
Let me
right.
come talk about it.
Let's talk about that. No, dude, it's funny because Solomon, actually, me and him started. We initially met when we were kids. We both trained under John Maynard at Champion Karate, right? Because that dude's been doing it forever. So when we were kids, we used to train under Maynard, and then we obviously went our separate ways, and then. When we in like our early 20s, I think, right, is when we kind of reconnected and
2007,
something like
in
that.
there.
But it was like when I was DJing downtown all the time, and he was downtown beating people up all the time. So,
Legally.
Okay. Yeah.
I like
dude, yeah, that's exactly right. So, do y'all remember? I'll let him tell you more about it. Do y'all remember the fights at like Rocks and
Diesel. Club
Diesel?
Diesel.
Do y'all remember that back in the day? They used to have those Thursday night fights. You don't remember that?
So you paid to get to fight, like on purpose?
I don't think
No,
you paid if you fought,
you
right?
did not pay. You go in. You can sign up to fight, and they'll match you up with somebody, and you go in there and do your thing. It actually, when they moved it to the Rocks, they got in trouble through the boxing commission because you can't pay to watch people fight,
Right.
unless the boxing commission is a part of that and it's sanctioned and all that stuff. So they were charging a door cover, and the boxing commission came in and shut them down hard.
Yeah, they weren't getting their cut.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So the funny part of this, though, Solomon, how many weeks in a row did you beat
It's
people up?
like 30 weeks.
Literally, like you would say the Thursday night fights were happening, and then you'd say, I wonder who Solomon Harvey's going to smash tonight.
Yeah, it's
There
like watching Tyson fight in his prime.
never-
It's like, who is Tyson going to beat up this week? Yeah.
It was so. I mean, it was a fun time, right? It was insane. But when Solomon was in his prime, he's still a great fighter even to this day. But he'll tell you as well, when he was training all the time and he was beating all them dudes up at Rocks, you could not touch that dude.
At one point, they were like, dude, we can't get people to fight you. Like,
Absolutely right.
One of the last fights I had at Diesel before it moved to Rocks was this dude. He was, 215, 220. I was 155 at the time.
Jesus.
I was like, you want me to fight?
This is
Like,
this is all you guys got.
All right, cool. Let's go. Let's do it. He hit me once the entire fight. I immediately hit the ground. I was like, all right, that can never happen again. I can't let him touch me.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got video. When we were making his first American Ninja Warrior tryout video, we've got this clip that we put in his tryout video that we sent to the American Ninja Warrior people. We're like, he hits this one dude with I think he steps in with like a kick, and then he hits him with like a right and a left or something like that. Knocks the dude out while the dude's still standing up, and he's doing like the Street Fighter 2 thing, like this, and then he finally falls down with his toes curled. Like when it was fun, I hate to say fun because obviously you don't want anyone to get hurt.
No, yeah.
But dude had on headgear, like, whatever. But
It was fun.
he
Is this on the tube?
Yes.
absolutely on the YouTube.
Dude, that hair.
Yes. Oh, had dreads for 19 years.
What happened?
Stunts.
Married.
No.
Got it. Got it.
Understood. Understood.
Dude, that's rad.
Knocked him out cold. But that was, to me, that was just always such an interesting thing because he's such a mild-mannered dude, which is why we get along so well, because he lets me do all the talking.
Right. Was your training from Maynard, or was there more after that?
Well, after that, when I started doing the underground boxing stuff, it was just me going in there, and somebody talked me into it. I was like, all right, cool, let's go in there, and I'll throw some hands. Cool, why not?
Try something. Yeah.
And then started getting some recognition from that, and then people were like, hey, you wanna fight MMA? I was like, bro, I'm doing this for fun, and my boy buys me a drink after I knock people out. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you should come out and get a little jiu-jitsu under your belt, maybe some Muay Thai, and take some fights. I was like, why not? And ended up working with there's a place down on Wrightsville. I want to say Evolution. I think that was down there. Yeah,
At Wrightsville Beach?
At Wrightsville
That was
Beach, yeah.
Evolution.
Started training with Evolution, doing jiu-jitsu with them, and then some Muay Thai, and a little more boxing, some specific boxing training, and took my first fight with Carolina Fight Promotions.
Nice. How'd it go?
I lost.
Did you?
I lost. So the person I was supposed to fight was another like Golden Glove underground boxer dude, and I was like, oh, cool, yeah, no problem. I can, been boxing people for weeks now. Let's go. He backed out the last week, and they were like, all right, cool, we got somebody else for you. He's not a boxer, though. He's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. It's like, all right, cool, I've been doing some jiu-jitsu. I think I'll be all right. I'll be all right. No.
It was not all right.
The first time I've ever been put to sleep. And the last.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That was a good time.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely. But no, seriously, it's so interesting. Like, he never gets really loud or excited about any. Like, even whenever he's in the ring, he doesn't even get that loud or excited about anything. You could just, whenever he used to have them dreads, you just see them dreads start moving, and you're like, here we go.
Like the Predator out there.
Absolutely
Yeah.
right. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
That was a calling card. But whenever he started doing more movie stunts and stuff like that, it started kind of becoming an issue with, if they needed him to play a part and the person didn't have dreads, it's
So
hard.
if it wasn't the Predator,
Let me get this straight. Let me see if I'm understanding correctly. Your fame made you cut your hair?
Yes.
Pull this up. I want people to hear this. There we
Yes, because fame doesn't actually get you money. You don't. You can be the most infamous person in the world and be completely broke. And that's where I was after doing American Ninja Warrior. I had people stop me in traffic. I'm driving on Gordon Road. People are stopping me in traffic. Hey, you're that guy from American Ninja Warrior. It's like, yeah, can we get your autograph? I'm like, bro, the light's green. We got to go. No. It's like, you meet me up here. We'll park at the store, get out. I'll sign autographs. We'll take pictures. We're not doing this in the middle of the street. I'd be walking down the street like, Solomon!
Yeah, that's just like how me and Steve get treated.
That's everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. Yes, son.
It's great. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun.
100% not true.
Just to be clear.
Has to pay the bills at some point.
Yeah.
So American Ninja Warrior, we can't just brush over this. How did that experience come about? And then we'll get into what that felt like, but how did that even come about? So you go from MMA fighter with, storybook dreads.
They were amazing. They were so amazing.
So how do we get to American Ninja Warrior?
So started fighting, not making any money again. So had to figure some stuff out. Ended up moving out to Vegas to fight, which was great. Had a lot of fun. Got some good training. Take a fight out there, make some good money. But I'd say I'd make $1,500 for a fight. I'll only fight every 3 months. In the gym I was training at, they had guys, on their cards that, it was their guys. They've been there forever. They're going to give them fights before they give me fights. They're going to, they get special treatment. Not saying that I was better and I deserved, more treatment. Those are their guys. They're going to get their fights. Sure. Completely understand. I can't live off $1,500 every 3 months. No. That's $500.
Were you training for free?
No, I was training at a discount.
Okay, so the discount, so your training probably cost $1,500 and you made $1,500 to fight. So yeah, I don't see how this is going great.
So I took a job cooking at a Buffalo Wild Wings. I've cooked for my entire life, so it was no problem. Got in there, became a shift leader, moved all around the restaurant. They were opening a restaurant in Long Beach. I'm from California. I had family out there. I was like, cool, what? I'll go out there, hang out with my family, open this new store. Great. Working terrible hours, still broke, still not making any money.
Can I bring one detail to this as well? This is when you had that ZX-10, correct?
Yes.
So his transportation, let me throw this little detail in for y'all. His transportation at the time was a Kawasaki ZX-10 sport bike that he rode from North Carolina, where he was living on my couch, to Las Vegas.
To fight.
To be a fighter. And then when he's talking about moving from Las Vegas to California, ZX-10 and all the way from Vegas to California.
2,000 miles cost $3.95.
Oh, the gas was great, except for the fact I got caught in a snowstorm in northern Texas.
Yeah. And that didn't even make sense whenever he told me that. A snowstorm in Texas, right? Yeah. But it's a thing.
Yeah, it was right before one of those Super Bowls where the stadium in southern Texas, the roof collapsed from all the snow. What? I was caught in that storm.
Jeez Louise.
And you're on your motorcycle?
On my motorcycle.
Dude, it was such a crazy time. That was the only vehicle he had for how many years was that?
Since I've sold my car to finish paying off my bike in 2007. I didn't get another car until I won one doing American Ninja Warrior. 5 years ago?
Yeah, that was pretty recent.
So now we got the 08 smart car, so we're on the come up.
That's it. The smart car. Dude. No, it's great. He's been running that thing forever though. That's like best investment he could ever made because he doesn't have anything in it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
$0.
$0. I'll take it. No, that's awesome. But
that's amazing.
Anyways, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. California, you were there for a couple years, and I'm trying to remember where you went from there, and I don't recall.
So made it to California, opened that store. California's expensive as fuck. Okay,
right.
Can't doing the best I can to make ends meet. End up coming home to visit for my brother Dominique's birthday, hanging out with Dane, sleeping on his couch again, and all right, man, I gotta move back. This is I'm not making any money out there. It's way too expensive. There's 3 Buffalo Wild Wings here. I'll transfer. Cool deal. Get back, hanging out with some friends. They're like, hey, Ninja Warrior's coming on coming back on TV. You should try out. What? No.
Anybody ever seen you flip before?
3 of the dudes I work with, drunken nights, flipping off of
keep in mind, this is not something he's even training a lot at the time. This is he knows how to do a backflip.
Yeah.
Bar tricks.
Yeah, exactly. Bet you I can do a backflip.
That's exactly right.
That's your shot. That's your shot. Let's go.
Bitch, I can do it. Yeah, no doubt.
So they're like, all right, cool. We shoot this little, thing and send it off. Completely missed the deadline. And they hit me up. They're like, hey, you missed the deadline. Sorry. We love what you did, but, you didn't make it. Sorry.
Was this that first video that you told me about the deadline, like 12 hours before the deadline?
This
was even before that.
That was before that.
Understood.
I'm constantly late. You know this.
I
Shut
know
up.
this.
Anyway,
All right.
Just be fair.
No secrets.
So end up moving back home. This is, close to a year later. And they hit me up. They're like, hey, we saw your stuff from last year. It was great. We want you to compete. Can you send us a video on time this time? Like, yeah, sure. No problem. Hey, Dane, I got to shoot this video for American Ninja Warrior. You want to help me out? He's like, yeah, man, sure. What does it do? Midnight.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Here we go, bro. We're off to the races.
Which one is it?
Off to the races.
That's me right there.
Absolutely.
That was
Fingers is on it back there.
That's right. That's right.
That's actually the second time I did American Ninja Warrior. The first time was season 6.
And that was 2000 and, if I remember right, was that
2014.
14. Well,
2000
first time was 14.
Yeah, first
Okay.
time was 14. I think we shot it in either early 14 or late 13.
Okay, understood.
But yeah, they were like, hey, we liked your stuff. Doing another video. I'm sleeping on Dane's couch again at this point. And
That was the second. Was that the second year or was it the first year?
that was the first year.
First year.
That was the first year. I was exhausted.
Yeah.
Okay, this was we didn't have anything like this around. There was no Defy Gravity with their
Nothing to train with.
nothing to train on. So I'm just doing pull-ups.
That's it.
Like me and my brother were playing video games. Like I'm, all right, break time, cool. I'm gonna go throw some pull-ups in the door frame before we start another round of Call of Duty.
Absolutely.
So get there.
Really all you did.
Really, that's it. That's just pull-ups.
Because think about it. At the time, American Ninja Warrior it was a big deal, but it wasn't so big that people were training American Ninja Warrior.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's like in the room.
Got some sound.
You know?
Yeah. Excellent. But no, dude, we were able to actually get the first year. We were able to get that video in time, and I think you did very well. I can't remember. Was that the year that you went to Vegas?
Yes,
That was the year.
I placed and went to Vegas.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Keep in mind, he goes to American Ninja Warrior in Florida first, and he has to place in Florida with however many other top times or whatever it is. Then he gets to go to Vegas. So he kind of skips over that part all the time. But there's some other accomplishments to get to the Vegas part.
sounds like,
Vegas is part
you
2.
go through qualifiers and then city finals, which TV magic. They try to make it seem like, oh, it's over a course of weeks, and it's 2 days, and you're doing this over a weekend. Like day 1 qualifiers, cool, get through that. Day 2 city finals, and it's a show, so it shoots overnight. So you have, they start when the sun goes down and they shoot till the sun comes up. And I've had the unfortunate circumstance of they seem to put me very last every time I'm on the show. Because they set up an order, and normally I'm like 60 something. They set up an order, and as they're going through, they're like, "Hey, we got to get our superstars. We got to make sure they run before the end of the night. So we gotta bump some people back." I always get bumped to the end, so I end up running at like 6:48 in the morning, right before the sun comes up. I've been there all day. I'm exhausted, and when I went to Miami again, still broke. I had sold my TV, sold a bunch of stuff to get the money for a plane ticket to Miami. Got to Miami, didn't have money for a rental car, didn't have money for a hotel. I slept in the rental car place at the airport. There was a couch, and just kind of put my stuff down, like, oh, I'm just waiting for the rental car place to open. Like somebody would come by, hey man, you gotta wake up. You can't sleep here. I was like, oh, sorry man, I'm just waiting for the rental car place to open. And finally, like 9 o'clock, I'm like, all right, I got to get the fuck out of here. I grab my stuff, hit the train, takes me to where I need to be for the qualifiers. I'm there just kind of hanging out, watching people way too early because the show doesn't start filming till 7 o'clock. I'm there at 9. just kind of hanging out, walking around, looking at the course, checking it out. And as people are showing up, just hanging out, talking to them. I met the Drew Dreschel, one of the first people to ever do Ninja Warrior when it was Ninja Warrior, not American Ninja Warrior, out in Japan. And, I was like, oh, this dude's going to be an asshole. Like, I've been doing this forever, get away from me, new guy, whatever. So one of the nicest people I ever met. Turns out he's a complete scumbag.
Sweet.
Another story. It's
Sweet.
well
Yeah,
down the
we'll
line.
save that one.
Nice scumbag.
Yeah,
But he was very nice to me. He was very nice to me. He was like giving me pointers. He was like, "Hey, man, you're here because you do this kind of stuff. Just go out there, have fun. It's a giant playground. Do your thing." I'm like, "All right, cool." I'd calm me down a little bit. Sleep deprived, sleeping in an airport. Just trying to figure out what I'm doing here.
For everyone that thinks that everybody that's on that American Ninja Warrior show is like all glitz and glamour and they have their shit together, this is obviously telling you how it really is behind the
reality.
scenes for most of the American Ninja Warrior
crazy.
contestants. Anyways,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's all people who they like Ninja Warrior, they're fans or whatever, but it's people who are trying to get their name out there, trying to become famous, trying to support their start their brand. There was a guy who was trying to open a gym, and he was like, I'm trying to get money for this, I'm trying to get exposure for that, and it's a bunch of people in the struggle. And what sucks is you have to fit the bill to get down there. You have to, fly yourself out there or drive down there. You have to put yourself up there. There's no help for any of that. And you're like, oh, cool, get a sponsor. They don't allow logos or anything like that on the show either. I think it's better now, but like you showed up, for your stuff, and you check in. They're like, all right, what are you wearing? Like this. All right, cool. We got to cover that Nike symbol.
Yeah, because dude, I had him all decked out in DB gear.
I'm sure you did.
I did know absolutely because I was like, yeah, I'll put this video together for you, but
Yeah.
but he has no problem with it. Like, dude's
absolutely.
he's been Team DB, but since before Team DB was Team DB. No, but
Man.
but
I've slept on your couch for years at this
they
point.
made him,
Like,
but they made him cover it all up.
Yeah, they cover everything up. But we had some workarounds in our videos and stuff. We always wear DB shirts and everything, and make sure we try and get that out there as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, we have to fit the bill. And if you did make it to finals, which I think they took 15 people out of the 150 from each city to Vegas, then they will pay for your plane ticket out there and put you up in the nicest Hooters hotel and casino in Vegas.
Yeah. Solid, yeah. Excellent. So that was what the first year, that was what you won, right?
Yeah.
Was you were there sleeping on the ground, and then you ended up winning, and they flew you out to Vegas. Now the question I always had, I don't remember the answer to this, but did they fly you back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like, hey, welcome to Vegas. You lost. Figure out how you're getting home.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I hope you can find some money to get home.
Yeah. So they fly me out, and actually, this is why Dane broke his hip.
That was year 2 though, right? That was the second. I think it was the second year.
That was year 1.
Was it really?
Because it's shot. They have to do all the city qualifiers and city finals all around the country first, and they split that up into weeks or whatever. So by the time the Vegas finals come around, it's 6 months later.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
I've already shot that, hasn't even aired yet, done that. Now we're going to Vegas. So I again only have a motorcycle at this point. Now it's a Gixxer because I wrecked the ZX-10.
That's right.
But I need to get to Raleigh to get on the plane to fly to Vegas.
That's what it was. That's why we were getting that tire. We had to get him a rear tire. I don't know if I threw this detail in. So this is the reason why Solomon is still my friend, because he just feels indebted to me for like the rest of his life, because he is the reason I broke my hip, which has been like a life-changing experience, obviously, and has ruined a lot of things for me. So he
Nice.
So he needed a rear tire on his bike so he could get to Raleigh, to get to that airport, to go to
Vegas.
Vegas, that's what it was. And then we were literally going to my other buddy, Matt, to change out his rear tire so that he could get to Raleigh the next day. And I lost my bike in the parking lot of Matt's apartment complex. And
Were y'all on the same bike?
no. He was on the back.
Not
I ended
not
up on the
this
bottom.
time.
Yep,
Not
I ended
this
up on the
time.
bottom.
I'm trying to drive correlation with how this is his fault.
Right. Yeah. No, but dude, but seriously, it was the stupidest thing ever, and I made a mistake whenever we were going to get that tire, and it was one of those deals where it was like, he had to, first of all, he had to convince me that my hip was broke because I was like, bro, just put me on the bike. Somebody's going to call the cop. We just need to get out of here, right? And he was like, something's wrong, bro.
No, because I
Something's not right.
like he went down and I was like, oh, fuck. And the first thing I do, I'm like, you good? Yeah, cool. I go to the bike and I'm like, I'm trying to pick up the bike. I'm like, oh, that's broken. You gotta fix that. And I'm like, what the hell's Dane? I'm looking for him. And he's still over there like trying to get up. And I was like,
Oh shit.
oh, that's not good. And I'm like, hey, you need to sit down for a minute. He's like, no, I'm good. And his legs straight like this. And he's trying to stand up. I'm like, you are not good.
Yeah, he saw something. I still don't. It was all like very. I think I went in shock or something.
Yes.
But I don't remember a lot of things. But I remember him being concerned, and that was concerning. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I thought I was okay, and if he didn't think I was okay, then I was not okay. You know, because most of the time we'll be like, all right, man, rub some dirt in it. It'll be okay. You know, but
Stop being a pussy.
it
Get
was
up.
not, it was not okay.
Your toes are facing the wrong way.
So he went with me to the ER, and we got me to the ER, and I don't really know. Did you made it to Raleigh? Now, were they still able to change your tire? Because I kept telling you and Matt to leave the hospital.
Yes.
To change that tire.
We got the tire changed.
We had like 12 hours.
Yeah. Last minute
Again.
as always.
Yeah. Once again. Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, my flight's leaving soon. I gotta get the tire. So we do go get the tire. We get it on, throw it on the bike, you know, backpack as normal, drive to Raleigh, very fast. Didn't break the speed limit. It was very fast.
Yeah. Very fast at the speed limit, of course.
Exactly 70
right
miles
at
an
the
hour.
speed limit.
It might have gone one over.
Well,
Maybe
just
at one
maybe.
point.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, got to the airport, you know, flew out, and had a lot of fun out in Vegas. It was cool.
But if anybody ever wonders why, like if you've ever watched you don't see it as much anymore because I unfortunately we both got just wrapped up with life in the past couple of years. But before the past like 4 or 5 years, there was constantly videos of like me shooting him in the crotch with airsoft guns while he was on the stretch machine, or like just anything, you know, just to make his life very uncomfortable, you know. And it's usually just payback for him breaking
your
my
hip.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
I also broke his rib.
He broke my rib twice. Yeah, with his head.
Yeah.
Twice. So
Y'all got a kinky story.
we absolutely do. Yeah. Dude, no,
It's an abusive relationship.
That's right. Dude, we just we're like the only two that we're like close to each other's weight. Every time we go to the fight gyms, everybody's huge.
Yeah.
You know? So like it's cool, it's good workout for us. But man, when we get to spar together, there's nothing
so
that's more
nice.
fun.
It's
Nothing
so
that's more, and we enjoy it because like we can go rougher on each other, we can have more fun, we can not hurt each other, but we can definitely be very, very aggressive with each other. And at the end of it, dude, we're hugging it out. You know what I mean? And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
But it's not always that way, but it's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
But no, in case you were ever wondering why he's still my friend, he doesn't have any choice.
Yeah, he's indebted.
He's
Forever. It's a life debt.
He's stuck.
Life debt.
Fun fact though, whenever he was living on my couch, the first I lived in this apartment the first time, and I almost killed him because first of all, he was living off of. I had bought this Costco jar of animal crackers that was like this big.
He ate them all.
Yeah, that's what he lived
You
on.
son of a bitch.
He lived on those animal crackers for like a month. Like that was his food source. I don't know what's in animal crackers, but dude didn't eat shit else. Like that was it. So
Hey, if it's good enough for toddlers, it's good enough for me.
absolutely right. And
Free
then
plug.
one day I leave him because I'm going to work or whatever, and he's sleeping on the couch, and I forget that one of my motorcycles has a gas leak
By the way, he kept his bikes in his kitchen at the time.
at the apartment. Yeah, this is the only way.
That's what I do too.
But one of them had a gas leak, dude. I didn't even know it. He woke up and he started talking about having a headache. Like he called me. He was like, "Man, I got a little bit of a
Yeah,
headache."
after I slept for like 12 hours.
So let's talk to the firemen about this because now we've got professionals that we can ask about this. Why did he have a? What does it do that makes him have a? How close was he to death? This time.
Did you say he slept for 12 hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably didn't have any oxygen in your brain.
Cool. That's great.
Bro, could that seriously have messed him up?
He's still your friend, so obviously he's brain damaged.
Obviously, there
That
was
explains it.
I feel certain over a long term that would not be good.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, I made sure whenever I got home and I smelled inside of the apartment like the ridiculous, because he didn't smell because he was like in there while it was happening.
Right.
He was like, "Hey, bro, hey, man." Good to see you again, bro.
Jesus, Solomon.
Life was weird.
I now
bro.
know why I can't remember anything.
That's exactly right because of that apartment, man. Oh god. But no, it was good times, but it was crazy. You know, back then it's so cool now to see, and this is what you always want. Like all you ever want is for the people. Well, all I ever want is for the people that I appreciate to, and people that like I see potential in to like do well and do better. And he's come so far. I talk about him like he's not here, but like I cannot even think of anybody else in my life where literally the dude had nothing. When I say he was living on my couch, I'm telling you guys more than once. He consistently had nothing, right? Yeah. And then one day he just started doing adult things, and like finally this American Ninja Warrior started getting him some traction. And then, from the traction on that, he's been doing the movie stunts and stuff like that because he's in, obviously pretty good physical shape, so he can do pretty much whatever they need him to do. But that's been the most amazing transformation, is to watch him start finally making some money off of getting, beat up, and like all of us, all we ever want is for our efforts to be rewarded, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's cool to see your boys doing well, man. It's crazy. He's one of the few dudes that like, it's weird. Like we don't get to even hang out as much anymore as we used to, or even talk. Like we'll still text and stuff, but we don't get to have full conversations. But he's one of those dudes that, like, I'm telling you, if I ever need anything, like he's that dude that whenever I'm like, hey Solomon, I need some help. Do you have a shovel?
Yeah, duct tape.
Yeah, he's like, where do I need to meet you to bury this body? Like there's zero question asked. And he's like one of the few dudes that's my friend. Like I don't call many people a friend, but he's one of the few dudes that's my friend that gets pissed off, like legitimately pissed off when people are mean to me. Yeah. Like when people are shitty to me on the bro, I'm telling you, there was this guy that used to bully me on the internet. We're talking like this was only like 7 or 8 years ago. He was one of the guys that he was in the gun community. He always had some shit to say. Always had some shit to say about everything I posted. And Solomon was ready to fight this dude one day. And I was like, we cannot do this. Yeah. We cannot.
We can't. Says
bro,
who?
I'm telling you, you have to like pull the pit bull back every now and then. Like, hey man, just this one time, just don't do it.
Like I'm not a violent.
He's not.
I love combat sports.
Absolutely.
Yes. But I'm not. I don't go out and fight people. I'm not. Oh, you cut me off. And, I'm not. I'm like, he's got somewhere to be. Cool.
He's one of
those.
But
when you are mean to my people,
it's a weird thing.
I'm gonna mess you up.
It's a weird thing to see it too, because he's so nice and so calm all the time. Like I admire how calm he is, because I'm not.
Yeah. Calm is a big deal in our industry.
Holy
as well.
cow! When y'all are doing what y'all are doing, if there's dudes that lose their head, that can't
chaos.
be. Did I tell you these firefighters? Did I tell you this is a firefighter podcast? You seen it? You done seen it? Yeah. I didn't really tell. And this is another one of those times where I didn't tell Solomon anything. I was like, "Hey, be here. We're gonna talk to people." He was like, "Hell yeah, here we go."
What do I do with these shovels?
I still got this shovel.
No, literally, I can show you the text. He was like, "Hey, you want to do a podcast tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "I'm like, what's the subject?" It's like, "Not being a bitch." It's like, "Cool, let's go."
Nailed it.
Here we go.
Nailed it.
Yeah. We have it.
Yeah, 101. Yeah.
No, man, it's the coolest thing. But as far as y'all's, like, I've been watching y'all's Instagram lately, and it looks like it's growing, right? Like everything that y'all are doing looks like it's growing. People have no idea how hard it is to grow anything. And that goes for myself, my brand, his brand, what you guys are trying to do. It's harder now because social media is saturated.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Saturated. Yeah. And to watch you guys, y'all are doing an amazing job. Amazing job.
I would love to say that there's some sort of effort behind it, but that would be 100%
you
a
are
lie.
So full of shit.
It's really not.
Full of shit.
Dude,
the videos that I see y'all finding and putting on your Instagram, I'm like, this is genius. Like, why didn't I think
it's
of this
almost
shit?
effortless though. None of us that are involved, it's as far as the growth and the following, that's really just never been like top of the list when it comes to priority wise. So there's not a lot of effort in it. I'm sure it could be better if we put effort into it.
Yeah, but don't make it work.
Yeah, I don't
Don't
want to
make
make it
it-
work.
don't make
We
it like
love
work.
the hell out of this. Like I'm having the absolute time of my life
Absolutely.
right now. So,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Dude, it's funny. One of the things that we always said, well, first of all, I remember us sitting on my front porch when I used to live out in Rocky Point, and I remember sitting on the front porch, and this was one of the times he lived on my couch. And I was
I
like,
had an air mattress that time.
that's
Thank you.
right.
It was
We had
coming
moved up
in
to an
the
air
world.
mattress.
Yeah.
was the front porch and the place where the couch was the same spot?
They were different. They were different. It was like a futon out on the front porch. Yeah.
Shout out Rocky Point.
No, dude. But I remember saying to him, like, legitimately, I remember the conversation. I remember looking at him and saying, dude, one day we're going to figure out some way to put together the motorcycle stunts with what you're doing. Like, we're going to figure. And at the time, we were like, there's no way this is even possible.
Yeah,
Right?
aliens.
I was doing stunt. Exactly right. I was doing stunt shows, and he was doing, the American Ninja Warrior and beating people up. But I was like, one day we're going to figure out some way to do this together. And then eventually we just slowly worked into what DB Soul Free Running is now. And he was like, it was just me and him were the initial product. And one day he was like, man, I know this guy. And I trained with him sometimes. This was right when you were, I guess, starting to train with Kyle
Yeah.
or like is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We started training because he's been doing parkour for years. And we started training, and we would get together like at his house. Like he had just that one box that we started the shows with. And that was it. It was just a wooden box, and we would jump onto it, flip off of it, stuff like that. And we would start to build stuff in his garage to use in doing parkour. And we'd head up to the gym and stuff like that to work on the stuff that we were doing. And it's just grown into what it is now.
But it's the coolest thing to watch the development, like when we go back and think about where it was. Have y'all ever seen any of those videos of like him and Kyle and some of them dudes like backflipping off of the storage container?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
the container that's like, y'all
Yeah.
have seen that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Like it doesn't even make sense to me. Like I remember when we were filming his first American Ninja Warrior video, and the first time I saw it, keep in mind, I didn't even know he could do a backflip whenever he told me to make this first American Ninja Warrior video. And I happened to have my van at the time. And he was like, okay, well, I'm going to backflip off of this van. And I was like, can we talk about this for a second before before you do that? Can we think about this? And the dude just jumps up, climbs up on my van and just backflips off of my van. And he doesn't think anything of it. But I'm like, I just about lost my friend.
Yeah, it almost went down.
I almost had a lot more animal crackers in my life because this dude.
How far into your career that you're kind of in now, where I would say you are now, did you meet your wife? Like when you met your wife, what were you currently doing?
So again, still broke. This was after the first year doing American Ninja Warrior. The trampoline park in town was opening up, and they were looking for people, and I went and applied. And this was like in the height of that first season of American Ninja Warrior. And, I'm introducing, and like people are like, all right, I know who that is. That's Solomon Harvey from American Ninja Warrior. And I didn't find this out till later. My wife, now at the time, she was like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
He did what?
What is this show that you're talking about?
Yeah.
What is this bullshit?
Whatever. But I met her at, we were coworkers at the trampoline park.
Okay. I'm just trying to I'm trying to draw in my mind how you the lady that is your wife now, how you put it together and you explain to your soulmate, the person you're going to carry your life onto, that you flip off of things
Really tall
Animal
things.
crackers.
for free.
Eat animal crackers and live
What
on
do
a
you-
couch.
Yeah, how are you going? Because as women, I'm sure you can proclaim to this. There's something in you genetically that says, okay, I'm supposed to biologically be gravitate towards somebody who can provide. Right? They're supposed to be strong. They're supposed to be providers. You got the strong. I flip off shit for free.
Yeah.
I look really good naked.
That's true.
Really
That's
good.
true. He does. I can
The fucking secret's out.
vouch for that, bro. Yeah.
The secret is out.
That's it. Yeah. You're welcome.
The secret's out. We've all been
Okay.
sold the wrong thing forever.
So much fun. This is it. No, it's funny you bring that up because her dad, we love her dad as well. Like her dad is such a cool guy, and Absolutely, sweet dude, and very successful businessman. He has a local business here in town. Shout out Sound Decisions.
Yeah.
But no, it's a business that he grew from the ground up as well,
Right.
and like he does well with it, and he's a smart dude, and he's fun to talk to.
Yeah, he
And I don't know-
started it right out of college, right out of UNCW in the 80s.
and,
What's the name of it? Say it.
Sound Decisions.
Sound Decisions.
Yeah.
Okay.
His name Mike.
His name's Keith. Keith. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Keith. Keith Register.
Yes.
Yep. But such a nice guy, and he feels sorry for Solomon, so it works out because they keep him around because they feel sorry for him. You know, they saw the animal crackers when they first he comes around. Yeah. So it's cool.
And my wife, not impressed with the Ninja Warrior stuff at all. Her dad, however, huge fan.
Really?
Huge
That's
fan.
what's
I
up.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know
nice.
that. Yeah, I never knew that.
I went to her house. We were picking up a camera or something to take pictures for another friend of ours. And she was like, my dad's going to want to meet you. I'm so sorry. He's a big fan. Just say hi and we'll get out of there. And he was the nicest guy.
Yeah.
He's, super sweet guy. He was like, oh, I've seen the show. His wife, Lori, she's like, she can't watch the show. She gets too nervous and anxious and she just wants to like try
He's
to lift
total
everybody up.
fangirl in here. That's amazing.
It worked out great.
Yeah, and I love her family. Her family is absolutely
They're
amazing.
good folks. Yeah, they're very cool people.
We can earmark this part of the show right here. This is probably the only compliment that you'll get from me the rest of the night. But if you're half the person that Dane describes you as, she lucked up for sure.
I'm going to clip this and I'm going to send it to her.
That's exactly right. We're gonna make sure she gets this part. No, man, I'm all about it. But no, as far as with him and his growth and stuff, you were talking about the dreads earlier. That was like a big step. Like, I don't know how to explain to y'all when you had dreads from middle school.
Yeah, my mom started the dreads for me in the 7th grade.
Wow.
Yeah. I hated getting haircuts. Then she was like, look, we can either keep getting your haircut or you can get dreads. Those are your options.
Wow.
Like, dread it up. Let's go.
Yeah, and he just rocked them forever.
Yeah, and after my mom had passed when I was in high school, I was like, all right, I got to keep these. And then I had them forever. And then when I started doing stunts, I could get parts that this character would have dreads. I played the first stunt job I ever got was I played a terrorist, played a Nigerian terrorist, played the Boko Haram, the Nigerian terrorist.
Please say that again, please. Please say
I
it.
played a Nigerian terrorist, the Boko Haram.
Dude, it was the most fun thing. It's still I don't know. He looks kind of normal now. But like when he had his dreads, and I would have my hair up, and he would have his dreads, and we'd be in public. It was always really funny to just watch people's response, especially because we a lot of times we'd be open carrying. If we're not concealed, obviously we'd be open carrying or whatever sometimes, and we didn't think anything of it. Like, we shoot all the time, whatever. But man, people got uncomfortable.
Yes.
It was very. You know where we're going.
Yes.
You know where we're going.
Was it Port City Java?
That's what it was. Port City Java one time we stopped. We were going to teach a private concealed carry class. And that same weekend was when the Black Panthers were in town doing their protest. I don't know if y'all remember that or not. They were doing, the Black Panthers were doing like a protest downtown.
I remember that, yeah.
And we stopped at that Port City Java. We had our guns on. And like as soon as we walked in, the whole place stopped. Right? And they were like, okay. We don't know what's going on.
By the way, we're wearing, I think, all black. I had on a
Jesus
DB.
Christ.
We did not think this through. We did not think this through. No. Yeah.
Normally, I'm very conscious about this stuff, being black.
But it was-
I had on a black hoodie. Hood was up.
Oh, we messed up.
Open carry.
Oh, we messed
walking
up.
to the store.
Oh,
and,
my God.
And Dane, like the whole way up there, he's like, "Oh, you have it." Well, I don't even remember what it was, but he's like, "You haven't had this? Man, we got to get one. We got to stop by." And it's early. We're driving into Hampstead.
Like 7 a.m.
Yeah, I'm like, "All right, cool. We'll get this stupid coffee drink that you want me
Pumpkin
to get."
spice for
That's
sure.
right. Yeah. And of course, my black friend was like, "What the fuck are y'all spending this much money on coffee for?" But we got in there and we're hanging out, and of course it's like very awkward. I don't know why I didn't see this coming, but there was like this older guy. There was this old man that was like watching us, like would not stop watching us. And Solomon went to the bathroom, and while he was in the bathroom, dude, somewhere the conversation transpired. I think when he was coming back, he'd like asked you if you were a part of that Black Panther protest or something like that
he
that
was
was
like,
going on or whatever.
He's like, are you protesting
That's
something?
what it was. That's what it was. And he was like, "No, we're actually going to teach a concealed carry class, man. You know, whatever." But it was just very.
Jesus.
Oh God, it was literally when we went to place our order, the girl behind the counter was like so upset that she didn't want to come
Take
to
all the money.
our order.
The manager,
It was so terrible. I'm like turning red right now thinking about how awkward it was.
the
I feel
manager
so bad.
had to like, hey, go take those dudes'
That's exactly
order.
right. I had to like force her to go take our order. Man, the whole thing was so awkward and so uncomfortable.
$242 in the till. Just take it.
Yeah.
Just take it.
Oh my God. But stuff like that, like we always laugh it off. You know, obviously nothing ever came out of it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we had fun with it, and hopefully everybody else, whenever we left, we're like, "Whew, my dad, all right."
Thank God the terrorist is gone.
That's exactly right. So in our now that we're older and more mature, we make sure we pay like extra attention whenever we present ourselves of what we're wearing and what we look like, you know, so we don't give the wrong impression.
So what colors do you wear in PCJ now?
Pink,
Perfect. Does that make it better?
green, no, no, not if we're together. No, nobody trusts us, bro. Nobody trusts us when we're together. And I don't blame them. Whatever, whatever. But no, It was an interesting thing. Like he and I, whenever we talk about, and I've had this conversation with you guys as well before about like he recently just stopped getting on Facebook, right? Like stopped using social media.
Cold turkey.
And right, well, he deleted his Facebook one time back in the day, and I like thrashed him about it.
Yeah.
Only because I loved having the memories. I love having those old pictures, and he lost like any pictures we had from like back in the day downtown, things like that. So I never want to lose those things. But I wish, you know, I wish more people could have the relationship that he and I have, where like we don't agree on a lot of shit. Especially when everything was going on with like the BLM movement and like the protests. We didn't agree on a lot of that stuff. I don't give a shit, right? We still get together and we spar. We talk about other shit. We talk about that for a short minute, but we don't harp on that. You know what I mean? And I think there's if more people would stop thinking that the world is so bad. Like stop letting the internet and the news tell you that life is so hard and that the world's so bad and that we all have problems with each other. You know what I mean? I think there would be a lot more if there would be more communication and less. You should feel this way because we're angry, and you should be angry. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm good. No thanks.
We never. We never.
No, I don't think I'll do
You
that.
can't. Yeah, you can't let people pull you into that bullshit.
It's funny that you even mentioned that. Me and Steve, we're entering into a partnership with a fantastic cause, the PFF-PNC, Professional Firefighters and Paramedics in North Carolina, the charitable fund side of things, which the donations that go to that go to disaster relief. They go to firefighters in need, whether it be personal or health or whatever.
got
Just
$1.
a
That's
great
right, I got
cause.
$1.
But we were talking
up?
about it. And we were just chit chatting about how to, how can we take what we feel between us, the conversations that we have, like we're having right now, the conversations that we have. How can we take that and kind of, summarize it into this, little kind of promotable thing like on Facebook. Nobody wants to hear it. You're not going to get people for 3 hours to hear me and Steve chitter chatter about this or that or whatever.
Yep.
And that was like the topic of our conversation. It was just like, the beauty of our show and the beauty of what we do here a lot of the times is we're not scared to disagree with people, and we leave here with smiles on our faces. All of us. It can be a Joe Blow stranger, not a Dane Britt and Solo and anybody else who we may be friends with, but somebody we've never met. We can come in here and they can tell us an opinion. We can disagree all right here at the table, and we're just fine. And that's a connection me and Steve share. We disagree on a lot of shit, in our industry. Personally, we just disagree on things, which to me, and Steve shares this, is there's a lot of value in being able to disagree with somebody. That's where growth comes from.
Yes.
Is if you're in an echo chamber with people who are all like-minded, just like you just hear the same bullshit echoing off different walls all the time. And you never have the ability to kind of sit back and reflect and be like, well, you never have that kind of that check me moment,
Right.
I guess you could say, where it's like, maybe I'm not thinking about this right, or maybe maybe their perspective makes kind of a little bit more sense.
Am I the asshole?
That's right. Dude, y'all
Yeah.
had you're doing your job because y'all had the first woman on your show that I've ever heard talk about the holistic stuff that I didn't think she was like cuckoo and completely disregard what she was saying.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She said a lot of things that made a lot of sense, and I was like, well, shit, maybe they're not all crazy.
Yeah. So,
Dude, that's
I mean,
exactly what y'all are supposed to be
Yeah.
doing. You know, I hope whenever people watch, shows like this, and they watch, us interacting and all of us interacting.
Sure.
They're like, man, I didn't think I was gonna like that Dane guy, but now I do. But that Solomon guy, he sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
hopefully
generally
that's
how it
what they
goes.
want.
I think that's a collective
That's
opinion, right?
absolutely not
Yeah,
gonna be
if
the
you,
way.
if you scroll up and look at the counters right now, that's what they're saying.
That's right. Yeah. Never. It's never that way. No, it's always they love Solomon. Like they always love Solomon,
Right.
and I am usually way too much for them. And they're like,
Everybody
that guy.
loves chocolate. I'm just
Please,
saying.
that's right. There's nobody that does not love chocolate.
It's so true.
Absolutely right. No, man. So, but no, y'all keep doing what you're doing on the social media thing, because I just had this conversation the other day with Mr. Maynard. The other morning we were talking about sometimes he's at that age, he's almost 60. So like he listens to talk radio and things like that, just like my dad, just like your dad, just like everybody, when they listen to that. But sometimes it starts getting them angry, right? Or anyone who like watches anything politics or anything like that, it gets them angry. And I just try to have conversations with any of those people that I see that are getting upset and like tell them, no matter how much whatever media it is that you're interacting with wants you to think that life is hard, it's not hard. Like at the same time we were having conversations about like how hard life is or whatever, we were also watching some video or something on YouTube about Genghis Khan and like how he was taking over, right? Could you imagine? Okay, you see where I'm going with this?
Oh, yeah.
Like life is not hard. Like if Genghis Khan, if we were in that time back then, and like Genghis Khan was taking over your village and like raping your chick and telling you that you could be his pool boy or whatever if you want to, but that's about as far as you're gonna go in life, or he could cut your head off.
That's hard times.
That's hard times, brother. That's hard times. When smallpox back in the day was like knocking everybody out, and you know what I'm saying? Like we came over here and we're sneezing on the Indians, and they were all. That's hard times, right? Like, dude, they talk about that phrase that they have where there's like 4 different ones, and one of them is good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times, things like that.
Right.
So they all think that like that saying is talking about maybe the last 20 years or the last 30 years. Bro, that saying about good times creating weak men, in my personal opinion, has been the last 1,000 years. Because our testosterone's getting lower and lower. We're getting weaker and weaker all the time, and it's because life just keeps getting easier and easier. Like, I went to the store and I just bought this sun drop, and everything's okay. I've got all the food that I could possibly want to eat, all the sweet taters I could possibly get up here and right? Yeah. Dude, me and Solomon get online, and we don't even have to hang out because we can get online and play video games and interact with each other and have a great time. Life is easy, bro. That's why my testosterone is way lower than what I want it. You know, like back in the day, whenever dudes were hunting and fishing and fighting each other and doing man shit, and their testosterone was at like 1,500, that's where we need to be. But unfortunately, that's those hard times.
Right.
Right. And
yeah, you see that cycle on a much broader scale. It makes sense.
But it can't change. Like there's no way it will. It can't change because we'll keep getting weaker. But it's because life will keep getting easier because we keep getting more technologically advanced and these things keep happening. It's so interesting to me how like we have to go out of our way to go to a gym all the time to keep from getting obese. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we have so much access to food and sugar and all these other things that are hard for us to say no to because life is so hard.
Yeah, I am the most out of shape I've been in my entire life.
Same.
It looks it.
Because-
Yeah, absolutely, dude. If you could, if you could have seen us back in the day when we were training a lot and like really I started to say on each other a lot. I knew where Matt was going with that. But bro, when we were going heavy, when me and Solomon were going heavy, and we were both like 145, 150, shit, couldn't stop it. Testosterone was through the roof. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
145.
We were
bunch of
always-
studs.
Right.
We were always doing something. We were always moving. We were always working.
Yeah.
And like, we never stopped, and we were eating whole pizzas every meal. But
This
Animal
matters.
crackers.
And animal crackers. Bro was living off of animal crackers. No, but I just hope that, if anybody's listening to this, if they've even made it this far in this podcast, I hope everyone that hears this can just like introspection, right? Look into yourself and just think like, how hard is my life really? How much of this hard life thought process have I gotten from the media, from Facebook or from Instagram or from news or from talk radio? Stop listening to talk radio. I can't say this, and I love talk radio. I think it's great, but turn it on for a little while, get a little bit of news, and don't take it as like this guy's opinion being the way you should feel. Take it as, here's some information. Okay, I need to go on about my day now. The more that you hear something, indoctrinating people, I'm sorry, I keep talking.
No, you're great.
Indoctrinating people has been happening since the beginning of time, right? The Nazis did it, and Genghis Khan, I'm sure, did it at some right that far back. If we're going far back, I'm sure there's more examples. But we're being indoctrinated now into thinking that we're unhappy. And you guys see this with fire, just like me and him are going to have this problem one day. When people stop, we've talked about this shit before, when people stop doing this thing for you, what have you got to live for? Mm-hmm. This is why people in my place in entertainment and shit like that, this is why Kurt Cobain swallowed a bullet. This is why so many people in entertainment do that, because they're told that, well, this is it. You've reached your pinnacle and life's done now, And we're told all the time that life just keeps getting harder. Shit, the gas prices is like $5. So I got my fucking 2021 F-150 cost me fucking $120. What the fuck, man? I mean, enjoy. Like, it's tougher than it was. You still have the intranet and the air conditioning and a shower. Bro, as long as I have air conditioning and a shower, Tila and I are building a house right now. You want to know how many rooms that house has got?
One?
Like half of one.
Half of one?
Yeah.
We're building literally a tiny house.
Nice.
Like, we are living, it's all, I think it's going to be like 500 square
No,
feet.
it's less than that.
Is it like 400 square feet?
465 or
465.
Oh, she knows. You can best believe
That's
that.
oh, brother. She absolutely knows.
Oh, she knows.
Dude, we're because the whole goal is just like I hate extra, and people always they talk shit to me because I have a Tesla, right? And they're like, how can you hate extra? That car's
minimal.
fun. Well, yes, and that car's fun as fuck.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I like to go fast. That fucking car is fast,
Yeah.
right? Oh, dude, I want motorcycle speed in a car that I can control. What?
Quiet.
With air conditioning.
Quietly, with air conditioning.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I want it to drive its fucking self whenever I tell it to. Bam! Right?
Yeah.
Fuck your 1,800 squure feet.
Right? That's exactly right. Dude, but this
I
is
got a
just,
tiny house and a Tesla charger. Let's go.
That's right. Dude, just think about in our lives, like how many fucking awesome things. I'm cussing now because I'm passionate, because I hear this so much. So much.
We'll
I
keep
hear
this
about
off your
how
kindergarten channel. You're good.
Bro, thank you so much. Yeah, not for kids. I hear it so much about like how hard life is. No, it's not. No, it's not. Life is as hard as you tell yourself that life is. That's it. You want to be a punk? Hey, be a punk. Whatever. But that's on you, bro. Don't bring your negativity to me. I don't have time for it. I've had multiple conversations with people lately that I deleted on Facebook because of their fucking negativity. People that I've known for years. I can't help that I don't want to see I love you as a person. I still love you, but I don't want to see that shit. Life is great. Can I say it louder? Life is great.
How to not be a bitch 101.
Jesus, that's exactly what I told him. That's exactly what I
Why
told
you
Solomon.
got off of social media?
Yes.
Okay.
What was it?
I said, is that why he got off social
Yeah,
media?
dude, because and I don't blame him. I wouldn't do social media if my marketing didn't revolve around it. Mm-hmm. But I have to. He's putting himself in a position where, and this is why he's kind of. You can maybe chime in here, but in my opinion, I think he's backed away from the live shows a little bit to save his body for the career that he's trying to push. Am I wrong?
Oh, absolutely.
He's trying to push a career in the movie stunts because he doesn't have to market. He doesn't have to see social media. He doesn't have to deal with these people.
Yeah,
Everything
makes
he's doing
sense.
is behind the scenes once you get into that. Now, that's a very, very hard market to get into, right? And we've been watching it. It's tough. Movie stunts is tough.
Yeah, I'm on my 6th year, and from what I understand with talking to other stuntmen, other stunt coordinators, that first 6 years is the hardest. Like, you are at the bottom of the barrel.
Absolutely.
You are not you're not getting the great jobs. There are stunt coordinators who aren't even going to speak to you. They're not going to take your headshot. They're not going to take your resume. Most stunt people who start out quit in the first couple of years. If they make it past that, the 6-year mark, then they start doing something.
And this is 6 years for you now.
I'm on my 6th year right now.
Dude, you're gonna be snorting the next line for Denzel.
That's right. Yes. Yes, I hope so.
In the last year, I started out doing bottom of the barrel stuff. All right, walk over here, fall down, walk over. I'm doing in the last year. I've done so much more. I'm doing a lot more driving stunts. I'm doing motorcycle
for
stuff.
reprisal. Well, in reprisal, where you were hanging out the side of that car shooting an AK-47 or whatever,
Yes.
they had you like strapped in the car. It was doing a U-turn, and he's hanging out the side of it shooting an AK.
Yes.
That was good stuff, man. It's cool to watch. He doesn't realize it, but like I'm slowly grooming him to be my boss one day. Like
Nice.
I'm pushing.
There
I've
we
been
go.
Oh, absolutely.
since we were 21 years old. I've been pushing him. Solomon, push. Use your abilities. Do what you got to do. Get in front of people. Do this American Ninja Warrior. Do this next thing. Like I've been pushing him for a long time, and he thinks I'm doing it just because I want to support him. Fuck that. And once I broke my hip, I was like, I got him now. Got him, son.
Honestly, that's how. Unfortunately, that's how a lot of this industry works. Like,
Absolutely.
there's stunt coordinators who they're going to hire their friends. They're going to hire the people they came up with in the industry. They're going to hire the people that they know. And I respect that. As long as I get a shot. If I can get a shot, cool. But hey, you're going to hire your friend for this 6-month show that you're doing. Cool. You're going to hire your friend 5 months out of that 6. Awesome. Let me get a couple days.
That's it.
Let me get a couple days.
Let me get a day or two.
It's a lot like that in our industry too.
No way.
Yeah.
The buddy,
The experience outweighs everything else. We have a saying that knowledge without experience is just an idea. So I mean, you have to have, I guess, for lack of better terminology, you have to have the street cred to kind of bring, you got to prove, you got to go through it just like, the guys that have got 30-year careers, that have earned the right to be at the top of this thing. This is mostly for instructors and, big influential people in our industry. You don't get a 2 or 3 year guy, that's up there teaching on the same stage as a guy who's got 30 years, 32 years, 36 years. It's just not the same thing. The first thing everybody does is like, you get picked apart. I mean, it's...
Yeah,
And that's how it should be though. Like you
get a chance.
You get a chance as long as you get a chance. Yeah, then you get picked apart.
Right.
But how do you? But you guys, y'all make sure that the new guys get baptized by fire. You like what I did there?
Yeah.
You like what
Nice.
I did there? Right?
Nice.
Yeah. But y'all do. I think y'all set them up, train them up, get them ready for it, and then you kind of push the young bird off of the nest, right? And then let it fly a little at first, right? Or is that how this works?
You want to go first?
Yeah,
We probably have completely different styles when it comes to this. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and in my opinion, in our industry, we don't just push you out of the nest. Like you're pretty much under the wing.
Got it.
Until you prove through some skills and experience that you understand and you're thinking. Talent and physical ability is important, but using your brain. Like if we can see, how we talked earlier about being calm. If we can see that you can calmly make a decision in a time that's not calm, then you earn a little bit more flight room. And then that's how you end up getting that experience and getting the respect in the industry. You differ in any way on that?
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I thought we were about to go down completely different roads.
Yeah.
Just basically in teaching style. Some officers, their style of mentoring or teaching is they want to be a step-by-step process. Like you don't do anything until I ask you to do it. You don't do anything until I tell you to do it.
Yeah.
And my style is completely different. I enjoy watching and then correcting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
Same
all
thing.
about letting somebody try something.
Yeah.
And then
You can learn
If
a lot
there's-
by seeing an effort or seeing a try.
or maybe seeing kind of what makes somebody tick. Like if I give you a simple task, put this ladder on the side of that building. There's a book way, and then there's. I mean, is there a wrong way when the ladder gets put on the side of the building? Not really, right?
You will let these younger dudes make the mistakes, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as it's
Even when
not
it hurts.
in the
Yeah.
safest environment that I can possibly
Okay.
provide. Yes, I believe that the fire service, in order to learn, is you have to
safely allow people to fail
Agreed.
because that's how we learn.
Did
Y'all could probably say the same thing.
Did
I
y'all
mean,
see our latest video on Fail Army? Me and Solomon's latest one?
It seems like I
Did
did see
you see
something
that?
about that.
The backflip?
No.
Holy cow. It was where he tried to let me. So they made it look worse on Fail Army than it was because they only showed the clip of him
Sure.
letting me die. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it was. He slowly was letting me. He was doing exactly what y'all were saying. He was slowly. I've been wanting to learn a backflip for years, and I'm like so close, but we're not there. But
It doesn't help that you are definitely afraid of heights.
terribly afraid of being off the ground. But he was slowly letting me do it with him spotting me and kind of slowly moving off to the side. And then whenever for whatever reason, he moved all the way off to the side where I wasn't there. And then he just like, I bailed. I completely just forgot everything, let it all go. And Jesus take the wheel. And I'm head first into the sand, like straight on to my neck. And whenever I hit the ground, he goes, "What did you do? You bailed. You bailed so hard," or something like that. Like, he's like yelling at me in the video.
Thank you for the free 1.2 million views. Yeah.
So yeah, Fail Army loved that one, of course. But no, dude, I think this is good. Now, my next question would be, so our goal is always, he just started stunting motorcycles kind of heavy recently because he's been wanting to get better at it for a lot of years. So like we started pushing him kind of heavy lately, and that hurts, right? There's a lot of things in the learning process. But he, I don't know how he feels, but I know that like when he started working, me and him started sparring a lot. After I broke my hip, I couldn't throw kicks very well anymore. I had no choice but to box him, right? I had to become a better boxer. My goal and how I rate myself, I don't give a shit about anyone else on this planet. If I can do well against him, fuck everybody else. I want to beat him, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully his goal is to feel the same way about the stunting thing with me. Now, he's obviously got a long ways. It takes a long time, right?
Sure.
It takes a while for that stuff. And
But working with you, you do so many things so well. Practicing with you, when you're working on something, you're struggling. I'm like, yes, yes.
he struggles too, But do y'all feel the same way about firefighters that you see? I don't know how you are a better. What makes someone a better fighter? Like we can usually tell who's a better boxer and who's a better stunner. How do you know if you're like better than your teacher at fighting a firefighting?
You run along with this one.
Why? Why?
I have my answer, but I desperately want to hear yours first.
I don't. I would like to think in my little messed up brain or whatever, that the idea of the perfection of a craft is not to be better than the person instructing you, as far as our craft goes, is to piggyback and learn off of the person who's supposed to be instructing you, because you already hold them so high that just to be level with them is the mecca. Does that make sense?
Yes. I will ask though, like between the two of you, is there, I got to beat him at this, or I got to do this better than he does it?
Good question.
I don't know, because I don't know that our goals align with the same thing. Our goal is to be the most effective, to provide the best service that we can for our clients, which in our clients are people having the worst day of their life.
So which one of y'all provides the best service? Because that's
Probably Steve.
Do you think so? And what makes you
Probably.
But years?
He's
Do you
better
think
at it than
experience?
I am. Yeah.
So you would say that out loud? You would say he's better at firefighting?
He's being polite.
No, I mean, Steve's got a lot of traits that I aspire to be.
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
he shows a lot of things that I can learn from. And
Excellent.
I mean, hey, if I can show him anything that he can learn from, that's great too. But it's not really competition. I guess you could say.
That's great. That's great.
When it comes to like doing the stunt shows for kids and doing that stuff, we want to have the best show possible. We want to make sure that these kids are extremely happy. However, when we're training for these shows,
Oh man.
it's not necessarily a competition, but we definitely want to
Oh yeah.
bring out the best in each other.
And we always do.
And by pushing each other. So like when we're boxing, or we're training moto sports, or we're doing anything.
Yeah. Now,
We're trying to elevate each other.
when it comes to training, I think me and Steve both will probably sit cross-legged in a house that's burning, and the entire thing will burn down. And I will not go home to see my wife and my two children before I blink an eye at that motherfucker and let him know that I'm hurting. Not a chance. Yeah, that may be very much a thing. Yeah,
So
I'd be like, that mother's hot, and Steve be like, no, I'd be like, yeah,
Yeah, me neither. I was just checking.
every day.
We had this training. We called it Under a Minute Club, and it was so competitive. And it was if it's your time to go, you're in the back seat of the engine, and when the air brake pops, the clock starts. So you bail out of the back seat, grab a pre-connect off the fire truck, stretch it to the door of the house.
that's a hose line.
Yeah,
I was picking that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
was lost.
put your pack down or put your nozzle down, mask up. The line gets charged. You check your pattern.
What's
and then
charged with water?
Yeah, so the pump operator sends water to you, and then check your pattern, put your gloves on, and go inside. And you got to get all that done in under a minute. And
So as a team, you have to get that done, or individually, you have to get that done in under a minute.
it is good training on the driver, but it's mainly designed to sharpen the skills of the firefighter, the person on
How
the back.
often can y'all practice this?
Every day you're on shift. Yep.
Hours at a time.
practice. Really, you could
Sure.
you could literally practice this as much as you wanted.
Absolutely.
What
we
would
have
it
a
take for
problem.
me to come up there
That's right.
and try
How do we
this?
set this
Under
shit
a
up?
minute.
Yeah.
I work tomorrow.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it takes.
I'm on the way.
That's
I'm on the way.
right.
We're making that happen.
He lives right around the corner too. Yeah,
Do you?
Absolutely. Yeah. he
Where's
don't
your
live-
Where's your station?
Murrayville.
He's in Murrayville, so he's right around the corner from
No
you.
excuse.
Yeah.
man.
No excuse.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
Yeah. Under a Minute Club was like.
I
it
got
was-
some
it
really
was
expensive
fierce.
cameras. We'll make you famous.
Man, American Ninja Warrior gets smoked by firefighter equipment.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm down.
Yeah, no, always down for a challenge for sure.
I'll give credit where it's due. Ethan had the fastest time, 51 seconds if I remember, and I got close, but I could never beat it.
Is he a big guy or a small guy?
Smaller guy.
Ethan?
Yeah.
You mean in statue or
Like
in
weight.
physical?
What's he weigh?
Yeah, he's smaller.
160?
Nah.
In the
Maybe?
160s,
Yeah.
yeah.
Somewhere around
especially
there.
when
He's
we
stocky. Yeah.
We have he and I have a lot of conversations about
He's like this tall.
the trade off the trade off between more weight for more muscle and things like that versus being lighter and being more nimble. I am avid about staying as light as I can possibly stay because we have to fall down so much. I do not want an extra 10 pounds falling down on my damn neck whenever we're
Yeah.
trying this. Like, there's nothing to me that's appealing about being bigger or heavier, and I think he's felt the same way. We
Yes.
always, anytime we gain like 5 pounds, we're talking to each other like, "Hey, bro,
I got a problem.
can I
Kick
talk
the
to you?
pizza.
You want to go on a
fat
run?
bastard. Yeah.
Can I talk
Yeah.
Can I talk to you, bro? I really need somebody to talk to right now. I've been on like 5.
Do I look fat in these jeans?
I've asked him this. I've asked him this too many times. Like, what does my stomach look like right now? Like, am I good or?
I would say in our world, it's a healthy balance, I guess you could say. I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, it takes weight to move weight, and our job is
That's
moving
true.
weight.
That's
I mean,
true.
You have to wear it.
Push
Our
rounds like
gears, yeah, our gear is weight. Our hose lines are weight. Our tools are weight. And if you have more gear on and more tools than your body weight, you're probably not setting yourself up for the best per se, unless you're conditioned to do so, which, I mean, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
That takes extreme amount of effort, right? I mean, you have to be, we're supposed to be, the coin phrase, tactical athletes, but I mean, that's a day's worth of work just to prepare yourself, day in and day out to be able to do that. So, I mean, it's a healthy balance.
I'm sorry, you saw me start to talk, so you stopped. What do y'all think it is in our minds that we like? There's certain people that we put on a pedestal, and we're like, I don't want to compete with that person. I just want to respect them and do the best that I can do to make them proud. And then there's other people where we're like, I want to slam this dude and show him that I'm right there with him and I'm getting better, and he needs to understand it because we have that competition. What is it in our mind? Like Mr. Maynard, I have no desire to ever be better than Mr. Maynard. It's not going to happen.
That probably is like the
Dude, yeah,
example that I gave earlier.
It's never
about
going to
the-
happen, right? That
Yeah.
dude. By the way, that dude just got his 9th degree black belt whenever he went to do this seminar like 2 weeks ago. Whenever it happened, I told Solomon me and Solomon and Mr. Maynard all we still keep in touch to this day a lot. Well, obviously I'm there training a lot, but then he comes up as well. But like, what does it take to a 9th degree black belt? Can you imagine? I told Solomon I can't even get a 9th degree black belt and like playing with myself, and I'm really good at that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you this.
Like, this dude has put the time in.
Yeah, that the conversation of the teacher and the student.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be better than him.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, he looks at his students, everybody in there, and he wants them to exceed
Right,
himself.
but
Yeah.
no, dude. When those conversations come up, I just clam up. No, sir. Like
Yeah.
I don't even see it that. And there's multiple guys in my life. I've had so many teachers in my life that I never. My dad, like I never want to say to anybody that I could wheelie better than my dad.
Right.
I'm never gonna say that.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna. It's not a thing. I'm just gonna act like it doesn't happen. And my dad,
Yeah.
he's the king.
Yeah, I guess the parallel in our industry and what we do is guys that have spent 30 years in the streets, like we have
in the streets.
and then they still, after their career's over, they still are passing knowledge. They're still progressing in the service. They're still finding new things, and they're still continuing with the service, even though you're ninth degree, from first degree to ninth. To him, it's just progression.
That's what Mr. Maynard said. Mr. Maynard doesn't
yeah.
even take the degrees
just
thing seriously.
progression.
He
He's
does
continuing
not.
his craft.
So interesting.
That's what.
They're all like that.
Yeah, but sometimes you get. It's not a thing to him. It's not an achievement to him. It's just a gratification. It's some kind of physical gratification that he's reaching this thing, but that's not why he's doing it.
Right.
It's just
it just happened.
It's a side effect, or it's just like if you train to be healthy, side effect is six pack, right? So, these guys, Mr. Maynard, the guys that we put on this pinnacle,
Pedestal.
they're not training to be this person. They're just continuing their career, and it just is a side effect that they get this
We just talked
reserve.
about the plot to Kung Fu Panda. Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing that you put that
Did you
together.
see
Oh, yeah.
this? Did you see what he's talking about?
Yeah, if you've not seen the movie, go watch it now. Yeah. Wait till after the podcast, then go watch it. But
So let me. Okay, well, I didn't mean to look at you that way. I think I looked at you kind of mean, but I look at Solomon like that every time because he's into like anime and shit, and I'm like, oh, you
I'm actually
fucking
shocked that you haven't
nerds.
seen it. I
The
guess.
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah,
No.
I got two kids, so I've seen it.
Right? Yeah, you
a
guys have
couple
seen
hundred
all
times.
that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have any kids. I don't have any excuse, but I've seen it.
Dude, I try to keep up with all that. Well, not all of it, but I try to at least kind of know what's going on in anime and shit, just so like when they make references about it, like him and Kyle talk about it at practice or whatever.
When you say anime, my brain does not go to Kung Fu Panda.
Well, it's
Well,
kids.
he
stuff.
calls anything animated a kid's movie, a kid thing.
That's exactly. Wait,
He's
Kung Fu
thinking
Panda
like furries
was
and
it
stuff.
animated? I thought Kung Fu Panda was like it had a CGI panda in it or something. It's a cartoon.
It's a
Cartoon.
real
That's
freaking person.
That's why I never saw it. No, if it's
It's
a cartoon,
Jack Black dressed as a panda.
Really?
That would be amazing.
See, you have me excited for. So it's a legit cartoon.
It's a
That's
cartoon.
why I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch cartoon things. I have this bad habit of like.
You work with kids.
Yeah,
What the fuck
I know-
is
I know.
happening?
dude?
Yeah.
If it's not going to teach me anything, though, I don't want it. I don't care. I don't have time. Like her and I were the only thing that me and Tila ever fight about is time. Pisses me off because like y'all gonna get me started on this now. Like there's no
You're
time.
doing that yourself.
We have we
Go.
never have enough time.
Yeah.
Me and Solomon don't have enough time to hang out. It breaks my fucking heart.
Yeah,
it,
I get it.
hurts me, dude. You
Yeah,
know,
I
like
get
that
it.
just sucks. Me and Tila don't have enough time to hang out, because we have this lifestyle that we like to live with Teslas and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we enjoy those finer things, so we work our ass, but we're also workaholics. Literal workaholics.
I've seen you try to not work. It's like,
It's hard work.
Dude, he's not
He's
kidding.
still working.
you got any more of them
Still
stunt
working.
shows?
Yeah, you're posting videos talking about I'm off.
Do
Yeah, I'm
you
not
need a
working.
DJ? Does anybody need a DJ?
Yeah, I get it.
He's not
Yeah,
kidding.
I
And
get it.
dude. It's a curse. Like Solomon backed out of kind of backed off of the stunt shows, and I applaud him because like we both get so much gratification like from the looks on the kids' faces, and like it's something
I
that he
love it.
started. He helped build it. But dude, it's just so taxing. Like there's so much time that has to be put into it, and you have to, you're always getting put in these weird situations. Like they'll say that they're going, give you this big area to come to a stunt show, and you get there, and it's like a 40 by 40 cul-de-sac or something.
Somebody's terrible.
It's there. So when we're in those tight spots like that, dude, it's everything that they can do to just keep from getting hit by a motorcycle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And like when you're just like, all right, cool, we have a stunt show at Wednesday at Holly Shelter Elementary. All right, cool. I have to be on set Thursday morning at 6 a.m. to do a stunt driving gig.
it.
And if I roll my ankle,
so true. And that's something we don't think about enough. Like injuring ourselves in our bullshit our extracurricular activities, and it hindering our job. Which you guys, if you
Yeah.
have a physical job as well, you can't get injured.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
dude. When he was training for, what did you do whenever you side flipped over that shit and like snapped your whole fucking foot in half or something? It was American Ninja Warrior video.
Yeah, tore 2 ligaments in my ankle. And I think I was supposed to take a fight after that.
That injury
Some dirt on
stayed
the
with him for years.
Mm.
It may still be there.
Still,
May still be there.
If I wake up in the morning, like I have to warm it up a little
That's
bit.
good.
before
You
I
deserve it
can,
because you broke my hip.
Yeah.
So,
Now
And your
that's
rib.
Dude, that's so
a
terrifying.
real fear that we share as well.
absolutely, because
It's-
y'all don't want to be that dude that's like injured, has to sit on the sideline.
Well, most of us aren't correct. But if you're listening, you know who
Correction.
you are.
hey, there's always that guy who's like
Guys,
happy doing the bare minimum.
yeah. Anyway, no, it's a real fear though too. I mean, a non-work related injury is
Affecting your work.
freaking terrifying. Something that you don't do on shift or you don't do while you're at work that affects you going back to work. I mean, you're dicking with money.
Yes.
And that's, for most of us, that's a problem because we don't make much. I mean, it's a problem.
Do
Animal crackers,
Do
yeah.
fire
Yeah.
couches
No
and
doubt.
shit.
Costco $4.99.
Bro, get it. Do firefighters overall, do they try to stay physically fit overall? Let's say 75%.
Okay, so I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna try not to blow up anybody's spot or anything, but I worked for a company who did some work at a few different firehouses in Pender County. And I got there, and I don't mean to be rude and rub anybody the wrong way.
Say it as nicely as you can possibly say it
Yeah.
with that cute little smile on your face.
Yeah.
I got there to do the work, and I'm like, are these dudes supposed to be people like carrying people out of fires? Can he tie his shoes? Like this is a big guy.
So this is okay.
Big
So,
guys.
so I can see both of them trying not to even get into the conversation, but
No, I'm not avoiding the conversation. Don't get it twisted. A lot of the times you'll be actually very surprised. You'll be very surprised at some of the people's ability to work and put out
Yeah.
in our job, despite what they look like. It's almost impressive. You'll be like, shit.
Yeah. I was going to say there's
Yeah.
not a direct correlation.
There's not.
Yeah. But I will say we do need, as a group, to pay more attention to,
Sure.
for long term, even if it's not a performance on scene. I don't want to see my boys have heart attacks and go out on a broken ankle. That
Diabetes or anything else, be more susceptible to put your hand down, student, or be more susceptible to cancer or anything else because they're living in this inflamed state of their life, just from poor decisions or whatever. But it's it's I can't say that. I can't say that no, we don't all go together because it's physical appearance is not a direct correlation for the work that some of these people can do. It's impressive.
How much do you think adrenaline affects that? Like, I think personally, my phrase at the gym is always whoever's the maddest will win the fight.
Ooh.
Right? So
whoever's the
adrenaline-
calmest will win the fight in our industry.
Okay, but you don't think adrenaline's making them big dudes do things that big dudes don't normally do? I'm
Sure.
telling you right now, I can overpower him if I can get my adrenaline higher than his. And he's stronger than I am by a lot, right? But I can every now and then I'll come out with something because I'm either more mad or more determined. Or I get her. She's a fucking problem. Sorry, she is a problem because she trains 2 or 3 days a week at the martial arts gym just like I do. She's doing the same movements I'm doing. She's not as versed. Solomon and I have been, doing martial arts for 30 years, right? So she's not as versed. But when she gets that adrenaline going, right, and she's like, if I don't start doing something, I'm going to lose. then she's so strong that I'm like, if I don't drop this girl on her head right now, I'm about to get smoked.
Yeah, my wife's 102 pounds, and I often say the same thing. I'm
Bro,
like, holy fuck.
adrenaline.
I'm gonna have to kill this.
Adrenaline is a crazy thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm gonna need you to calm down.
Yeah.
I train those cops on Tuesdays. We do the OSBD program, Offensive Strategic Body Defense, where it just teaches them like the hands-on stuff. And Solomon's seen it. Like sometimes it's the same thing y'all were talking about with the firefighters. Like their bodies they're not taking care of them, and you can see it. You know, which is very discouraging. But there was a female. There was these two females the other day that were kind of just needed a little bit of. What would be the word? Like a little bit of extra pep. They were just kind of lollygagging, right?
Mm-hmm.
They knew they had to go to work after it, so they didn't really want to get hot and sweaty and put forth the extra effort. So I went over there and just kind of started having fun with them. Well, I couldn't get her to get going, right? So I kind of kept pushing her buttons. And then when she finally did grab a hold of me, bro, I was like, oh, shit.
Here we go.
It was another one of them 110 pounders or whatever. And, I did my job, right? Like I got her to engage, which was awesome. But once I got there, I was like, fuck, what have I opened up now? Right? Once that adrenaline does start flowing, they don't know how strong they are. Once it gets to that point. So I think in you guys' line as well, what I was getting at, in you guys' line as well, that a lot of times the body will do cool stuff whenever you need the body to work.
Absolutely.
But how much risk do you run of injury post said adrenaline
Plenty.
fix? Yeah?
Yeah, plenty. Absolutely.
Do you guys get injured a lot on the actual job? What would be the word? Not jobs. Is it jobs? Calls.
I like jobs.
Yeah, I
Jobs,
like
yeah.
jobs too.
Do you guys get injured? Do a lot of dudes get injured on that, or is it usually the training side?
I'd say it leans more towards the training side just because it's more frequent than the jobs, what you would say jobs. Not many guys get hurt on EMS runs.
It's so true. Like he and I will get hurt training for these shows, which again, no money in the show at all, right? And we're training, killing ourselves for it, for whatever. But
And it's great, and it's a great cause, and I love doing it.
absolutely, we're
But
passionate.
Sometimes I got to be like,
Can't do it.
I got work coming up. I can't.
Dude, I don't blame him.
My wife needs me to go flip off something else. Yeah.
Flip off. I got to flip off the headboard a little bit, bro. See how this goes? But I love it. So, fun fact: he just learned how to do a 3D printer recently. He's been working with
nice.
this 3D printer, and he's making us like full-fledged power. Like me and him have been Power Rangers nerds, like the original ones, forever since we were kids. And he's making like the full-fledged Power Rangers helmet and stuff. So when y'all start seeing like Power Rangers riding around town on sport bikes and shit, get ready.
Those helmets are DOT approved. If anybody has any questions,
Nice.
So you know.
Nice.
Dude, I'm
Nice.
so pumped though. I cannot wait. Have you ever messed with a 3D printer?
No,
I know you do
think
a lot of,
Jeremy has.
Yeah.
He's played with one a little bit, but no,
Holy
I don't have
cow.
time.
Dude, he can make all sorts of shit.
I whittle
now. Like,
with
he's,
wood.
I saw
Right.
that.
That's about
You're a
it.
wood. You're a wood guy.
Nah, no, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, not a wood guy.
No, I just
Not a wooder.
put things together.
Understand.
That's about it.
tinker a little bit.
I pick things up. I put them down.
Yeah.
Oh, get out.
Yeah. No, it's
So what are
absolutely
you
happening.
printing with this thing, dude? Can I send you? Get the fuck out of
It's
here.
like the whole helmet. It's a fucking Power Ranger helmet. Like it's happening. He's painting the thing.
Dude, it's
He paints them by hand.
That's
what?
amazing.
It moved. Dude,
I'm telling you.
that's you in there.
And,
That's
keep,
you.
and another thing.
Wait a minute.
Oh, that's really cool.
He
Get out of town.
Fucking nerds. So he just started not too long ago playing bass too. I think you play guitar, right?
Used to. A
Cool.
lot, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's another thing that like when we talk about people who are not, what do you call okay, so like mindset, growth mindset versus fixed mindset, right? So people that you meet in your life that are growth mindset people, like they're all about feed me, keep me growing,
Yeah,
like
right. Absolutely.
keep me learning things versus fixed mindset people who are like, I'm good where I'm at, this is cool, he's one of those dudes that like I've always kept around me because of that growth mindset. He's a pretty terrible bass player, but he's learning. He's gotten so much better, like so much better. And to pick up something in your 30s, that's a big deal. You know, like anything is harder to learn once we've gotten this far in life because we're stupid and our brains don't work right, and this is whatever this is
And
life.
it's only 4 strings and goes boom.
And it's fine, but dude, he's figuring it out. He has no rhythm. And it's funny because he's such a good dancer. We used to break dance and shit all the time. That's like one of the ways that we used to get down to the clubs.
It's music. I've never been good at like, I've always wanted to play an instrument, always, but I've never had anybody in my life who played an instrument. So I am like tone deaf when it comes to instruments.
Nah, you'll put it together.
No, I'm saying did I ever tell y'all that I'm tone deaf? Like literally?
Brain death.
Yeah, brain dead. Yeah, absolutely brain dead. But dude, I sing for bands, like I sing for a living. That's one of my jobs, and I literally don't hear tones very well. Like anytime we're learning a song or something like that, I have to like over and over and over and over. Tila's got to listen to me practice this shit in the shower and just sound like a dying dog, you know, or whatever.
So is that tiny house? Is that tiny house the bathroom soundproof?
That's exact. No, sir. No. Yeah, it's horrible. Like
Showers
it's
outside.
so hard. And he's the same way. Like we just don't understand tones, you know. So and it's because I spent my whole young life beating on drums and stuff, and
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But as long as you got the right mindset, I don't think it's ever a big deal.
You'll figure it out.
I wanted to run something by y'all as well. The group here. I hear people all the time talking about how fast life is going by. Ooh, look at him crossing the arms. All right, that's when I know we're about to get. Did I tell you he's a concealed carry instructor as well?
No.
Yeah, yeah. So now, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so I hear people talk about all the time how their life has just passed them by, or like how how they just blink and the past 10 years have gone by, or whatever. And I know that like my 20s, personally, my 20s went by fairly quickly, but it's because I was constantly heading to the next show, constantly doing some shit. I question sometimes whether like part of the reason that people are missing their lives is because of their consistent lack of consciousness. So hear me out. So how many people do we know that their nightly routine is to go home and sip them down until they have seriously. And I mean, and it's not just you guys, but like think about how many people you know that do that, right? So if you're constantly out of your consciousness, like if you're constantly not in reality, how do you gauge time? Like how do you maintain that? I know that a couple times I've taken medications, like something for my hip or whatever, right? Like I've taken medications for my hip, and I'll wake up the next morning and I'll go, damn, I don't really remember much about that movie last night, or I don't remember much about that show last night, right? Like I know it happened, but I don't really remember it. I think this is part of the issue with like us feeling like we're losing time. It's because you're not there. Like
it's not just that, because you got to think about all the people who live in that 9 to 5 office. Like you are on autopilot, just
right.
And you're spending. How many times have you been driving home and you're just like kind of blanked out? And you're like,
I don't even know how I got here.
Yeah, like there's so many things that we kind of just do on autopilot, and if they start to pile up, damn, like that was 3 years ago. That wasn't last week like I thought it was. That was, man, where did the time go?
So consciousness is not just, we're not just losing it at night whenever we're drinking. It's like we're not paying attention to so many things. We're like zombies. So what's causing that? Why do I think about this shit? Why was I driving around on my tractor today at the property, like moving dirt and shit, and trying to figure out why this is a thing?
It's those easy times. When you're driving someplace new, you have to think about where you're going. When you're taking that same drive from your job to your house,
you've done it over and over
a million times.
Yeah,
you don't have to think about
easy
it so
times.
much.
You're being weak.
I think this would be a great opportunity for you, if you're willing, to share your analogy that you used earlier in our conversation. I think it's applicable here. Maybe switch the reasonings to apply here, but the overall message I think would resonate very well.
Yeah.
And it would probably make sense to those guys very well.
I bet so. I was telling him earlier, my dad had this.
First of all, I love your dad.
Thanks.
I think I say that every time, but this is my opportunity on this show to say that. If you ever get a chance, Solomon, to meet his dad, meet his fucking dad.
Yeah,
First of all, he's a legend, and he climbs trees and cuts them and shit, and he's a legend. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. So he's always had this ship analogy. So he considers like work and providing for the family as he's in this river and the river's flowing down, and at the bottom is bankruptcy and not having enough money for food. He was raised poor, so he sees animal crackers at the bottom, right? So if we're deciding, the weather's bad or whatever, we're going to go to work, he's like, we got to paddle that ship. So he sees it as he's always working to keep the ship moving upstream. And I was talking to Hoffman earlier, in today's world, that ship can be different sizes. So like your tiny home idea. So in the analogy I was using, say you're looking at a coastline from Florida to here, and that's your life. So you're going to be paddling this ship of whatever size you choose. If you do a paddleboard, it's minimal. So you can stop at all the islands, get off and go and explore and enjoy and do whatever, get back on and paddle up. But you don't have the comforts, you don't have the Tesla and you don't have the other stuff. So the more things you add to your ship, the more weight. So if you got the big house payment and the car payment and all that stuff, now you got to spend more time paddling and less time stopping and exploring the island. So there's no right or wrong answer. It's just
how big do you want your boat?
How big do you want your boat? You got to decide.
In this life. And the funny thing about this life is none of us get out alive off of the river. I tell her that all the time. Like, her and I had a conversation probably years ago now about I always say things like, well, we don't have to worry about it. I'll just go ahead and order this gun, or I'll go ahead and order this clothes or whatever because I'm rich. I don't give a fuck. Right? I am not by any means monetarily rich. I promise you. All of y'all have more money than I have, even broke ass Solomon over there. So
you guys got half your animal crackers.
But I feel like in my life, because I can pretty much buy what I want because I work and I have a good time and I don't have a big ship. I'm rich. Like I live my life that way. And just like what we were talking about before, it's a mindset. You're as poor as you feel. Mm-hmm. I don't feel poor. Dude, it's the coolest shit ever to me that y'all even ask me to come talk into this stupid microphone just because it's fun. So me and Solomon get together and punch each other in the face whenever we want because it's fun. And like our lives are so good that we can be like, hey man, let's do this tonight. The majority of people have a life that's that good. It's on your outlook. If you see it that way, dude, the ship thing's perfect. Like how much? You're absolutely right. I'm rich as fuck. Tila is rich as fuck. With her little pink Corvette. Have y'all seen her pink Corvette on social media or anything like that? Dude, she gets the coolest responses from chicks and like old women, like young women, old women. They love that Barbie vet, dude. It's the coolest thing ever. In case y'all haven't seen it, go check out Tila Alley on. You got pictures of it on Facebook, Instagram? Where they at? Yeah, something. Anyway.
Have you got a Barbie decal on it yet?
She hasn't done that yet. No. She's got her license plate. License plate says Barbie. Okay. Yeah, it lets them know. Anyways, I digress. But dude, that's absolutely perfect, and I can't. I
think it's just how people choose to prioritize their priorities. Whereas they don't get they can't take a step back from this routine enough to say fuck. I'm missing so much.
Okay, as well as when you do get those times at home, stop fucking taking yourself out of reality.
Yeah, I agree.
How much does your fucking reality suck that you never want to be in it? And this is people that have a drug habit, anything like that. Yeah, like phones, I love my reality. Unfortunately, this phone is part of my reality because I'm on there. If I'm not, mindlessly whatever, just to kind of take myself out for a little bit, I'm marketing. I'm doing whatever I got to do for the next show. Dude, people have no idea. Well, you guys know. But like anytime you have a baby that you're nurturing, this is your baby, primary complete. Mm-hmm. Anytime you have that baby, it takes constant nurturing. Constant. Well, I have 5 babies, right? Constantly have to nurture these babies. So don't spend so much time trying to escape your reality. Figure out ways to make your fucking reality not suck. Your reality needs to and can be as good as you want it to be. Especially like, these people that have kids and shit. They're like, oh, I don't know what happened. It seems like just yesterday you were 3 and now you're 12 years old. Well, you were fucking drinking yourself to sleep and taking fucking Percocets every night. Like, that's why you don't remember growing up, you fucking weirdo. Get it together, dude. Get it together. Act right and embrace your reality, man. This
Greatest soundbite of all time.
Yeah, that's going in the B-roll
I'm
file for
sorry.
sure.
I'm sorry. But dude, I get passionate about this stuff, man, because I see it. I see it trickle down to the kids. Like, I work so much with kids, and with New Hanover County taking me away from from their schools or whatever, like all the promotion that we got from that fight, we've got 10 times as many schools as what we had before.
Yeah.
We are slammed. And the thing that we see more and more common with these kids is they have a disconnect with the parents. And I question a lot of times if that disconnect has something to do with all the ways that the parents can escape their reality and they don't have to deal with their kids. And they can put their kids, we've talked about this before, they put their kids on iPads or they put their kids behind a, whatever. Back in the day, we used to watch TV, but they can watch TV anywhere. So I think these kids are constantly bringing in, gathering information, constantly bringing in information. By the time we did Bergall Middle last week, we did a show at Bergall Middle. It was awesome. But it started out like there was a few kids that had looked me up on YouTube and they're like, yeah, man, can't wait to see the show. But, you got all them other kids that they're so desensitized because they see the shit all the time, right? They don't care. They've seen him on American Ninja Warrior doing flips. They've seen me on it. They've seen other dudes that can ride 4, 5, 6, 10 times better than I can, and they watch it on their little thing. But once I get that Harley or that Supermoto out there and I fucking bounce that thing off the rev limiter in front of them and smoke's going everywhere and rubber's hitting them in the face and shit, and they're like, this is awesome!
I equate it to watching like a football or hockey game on TV
Sir.
and being in the stadium.
Sir, totally different
I
experience.
can't stand watching
Totally
hockey on TV. It's
That's
super boring.
perfect.
A hockey game? Being at a hockey game? Bro, it is amazing.
Yeah, when one goes in the goal,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You feel it.
Yeah, that's a good parallel. It's way different.
it's also the same as live burn training or sitting in an online class.
And that's an interesting thing. I don't want to do that, but I would.
I'm down.
Right?
I'm
Yeah,
down. Let's go.
Solomon. I'm sending Solomon in first. Yeah, he can get burned up first. So I just I think it would be so. And I saw you guys do that podcast not too long ago about the Backdraft movie.
Oh yeah.
The guy was talking about
Tim,
the Backdraft.
Yeah, he made a Backdraft reference.
Absolutely
I'd eat
right.
that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that movie Backdraft back in the day?
Who hasn't seen that movie?
I didn't know if black people watched it too. I don't know.
Before
I don't know what.
2000. I don't know.
I can tell you who's not seen that movie.
Who?
New firefighters.
Yeah, there's a lot of new ones,
Well,
man.
A lot of them.
Yes.
Because they're young.
Yeah, I
Yes,
guess so.
they have no
Oh,
idea
it was
what
the
that
90s.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, the 90s had the best movies. I don't know why you wouldn't go back and watch all them action movies.
just start-
I make Tila watch all the 90s action movies.
Yeah,
But again,
it's-
like you were talking about their parents checking out, their parents would have to show them that movie. They wouldn't think, oh, let me go look up cool firefighter movies from the 90s.
True. Something funny that's happened though. I DJ a lot with I do all the not all of them, but I do a lot of the dances, a lot of formals, a lot of the proms. Since COVID, I don't know if y'all saw my post that I've been posting about it on Facebook. Since COVID, these kids are reacting to, dancing to, and asking for the early 2000s club bangers, like the last generation of good shit.
What?
Because they had to hang out with their parents through COVID.
Thank God.
Yes, seriously, dude.
Yeah.
The energy,
Little John, make it a comeback.
dude. We teach it is.
Oh, sure. Bring it.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah,
Preach to me.
yeah.
Preach to me.
We seriously, we DJ'd an 8th grade formal for Cape Fear Middle School a couple weeks back. Them kids lost their shit to every 2000s club banger that we played. They were like,
that makes me feel
all
so
I do
good.
is win, win. And dude, they just,
Yeah. Yeah.
they were losing it and knew every word. And it's because the kids had to hang out with their parents. So I'm so interested. Now keep in mind, I have heard from multiple schools though, that like since the kids got back to school from COVID, they are off the chain. Like cannot control these damn kids right now. But at least they're back with like a little bit of, you can tell they had to interact with their families.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that has, probably like everything else, it has ends of the spectrum.
For sure. No,
You know?
absolutely.
I'm sure. And probably the ones that you're hearing about that are the teachers that are reporting that they're just wild and crazy. That's one end of the spectrum.
Yes.
And then you get to experience the other
That's
end.
so true. That's so true.
Yeah, just
That,
perspective,
but I
I'm sure.
tell them to give me the real You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
so I
Right.
have because I could get snowed. I could easily get snowed and think all these kids are this awesome all the time.
No,
you know, but
I'll tell you from a parent who I have two kids.
how old are they now?
My son's 8 and my little girl's 4.
8 and 4.
Yeah, or she'll be 4 in July. So 4. She's 4.
She's 4.
Yeah,
Close enough.
14, 44, whatever. Ask her. Jesus
with-
Christ.
that's right, one with 4s in it.
God Almighty.
Yeah.
No, but that time period where they have to be, they had to be home with us, and they had to be home with my wife, who her dental office shut down, and all that kind of stuff. That's it was hard for parents. It's hard
sure.
for people because on the provider end of things, we still have to find a way to provide.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know how to say this without being negative, so I'm just gonna say it, and I don't really care. But us folks who don't really want a free ride or a free ticket
For sure.
or want to work for what we have, that became difficult. For
sure.
My wife was out of work completely, so it's like, what does she do? She feels this obligation to provide, but at the same time, she feels the obligation to provide education and everything else, to our kids and all that kind of stuff. And the fire department obviously didn't shut down. We still had to go to freaking work. So but,
I will say, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I
you're
would say that your wife was still providing. She was just providing differently.
sure, but it's a complete paradigm shift from what she's done.
And that's
It's
hard.
totally new. And if you have older kids like Jeremy, or somebody like that who's, their kids are on up in age, middle school, even high school, it's like, fuck. I don't know. I don't had to deal with these little humans from 5 to bedtime, not from 8 in the morning until bedtime.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so that's an interesting
So,
thing.
I mean, it's just it was a giant learning process, and I'm sure plenty of people didn't capitalize on it, and they didn't take advantage of the opportunity that it was, because it was a great opportunity. If you perceived it that way, to spend time that odds are you'll never freaking get back with your kids, because they have to go to school. You have to go to work. Well, during COVID, neither of those things you had to do, right?
Right.
So, perspective, brother.
For sure. Without regurgitating something that you've seen on the news, where the hell is the workforce? I have people all the time that I talk to that say, yeah, I got these applications, I'll call these people. As soon as they realize that I'm calling them about the job, they just hang up. They don't need this job.
I don't know.
That's
My
so many
speculation,
people.
my speculation is that part of the unemployment process is that you have to show
that you're applying.
that
for
you're
jobs.
applying.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't say that you're accepting. It just shows that you're applying.
So there's that many people, because unemployment is not that much money, right? So they've just figured out how to
depends.
live off
Yeah, I
of
think it's
the lower
actually
money.
pretty decent.
It depends. I think it's based off of. I don't know. I'm probably going to butcher this, but it's got to be based off of a percentage of what you were making previous. So if you were in a decent paying job, and then you're going to get paid
What about-
95% of that to not do
did
shit.
you say 95%? There's no way.
I don't know.
Dude,
I've never applied for unemployment, so I
66?
What now?
don't know.
Yeah.
But that does seem very high. That seems
No,
very high.
I don't know.
When
I
was
have no
when I was
idea.
doing nuclear work, you had to apply for unemployment all the time. Like if you're doing on the road jobs, and they don't
Right.
have on the road jobs, whatever you get
unemployment
laid off
then
for a
is far
while.
different than it is now, though.
That's true. That was a couple years back, but I know that unemployment was extremely low at the time. You didn't want to really live off
You
of that.
didn't want to depend off that.
Right.
Sure. I don't know what it is currently, but I know during the COVID crisis and all that, it was really high. I mean, nobody wanted to go to work because they didn't have to.
Does anybody know anybody on unemployment?
No.
Currently, no. I don't.
Because I don't know.
That's
I
the
want to
odd
know.
thing. That's the odd thing to me is I don't know as many fucking 20 to 25-year-olds anymore either. But
that's true.
Because I don't have it. They're useless for the most part. But my bad. I'll probably get canceled now or some shit because of that. But I
25.
That's what I.
Asshole.
But seriously, I do question if it's if they figured out like ways to make ends meet on online websites or whatever, like especially young females that could do like an OnlyFans or some shit.
Yeah, you can take a picture of your feet and make 6 figures.
Exactly. This is what I'm getting at, and I was curious to see when I bounce this off of y'all if y'all are going to be like, "There's no way," but you absolutely agree.
Dude, why do you think I'm barefoot?
Hitting all the audiences right now.
Yeah.
There's a camera under this table. You didn't even know.
The foot cam.
But yeah, and
Twiddling my toes right now.
You think there's enough?
I don't know. I don't know. There is a market for people being able to, do online things, people starting their own businesses, people starting YouTube careers, TikToks, whatever it may be. The younger generation can
That's
be
my
doing.
question. Is that what the majority of these young people do? Is like TikToking and
Maybe.
OnlyFans and
I've-
YouTube and
I've heard of people apply for jobs that they are qualified for and just never hearing anything back.
Right.
I've heard people who work at like fast food restaurants being like, people are coming in for putting in applications and it doesn't seem like management is hiring anybody.
yeah.
$1,400 a month is the official number, by the way.
Okay. Wow.
You looked it up.
Yeah,
It's $350.
I got people.
$350 a week. Is that after taxes?
Yeah.
It just says
I don't think taxes apply
Yeah.
to yeah.
That's not a lot of money.
Unemployment doesn't get taxed. Now I'm pissed.
I don't know.
That seems
during COVID they're getting a $600 bonus
Yeah.
as well.
I had
you're
heard
getting
the
$350
but
plus
I heard
600?
that got stopped.
Come on.
I heard that wasn't a thing anymore.
Yeah, it stopped.
It did get stopped.
But-
I don't think unemployment's taxable income.
Unemployment is not taxable income.
So it's $1,400 a month, tax free, depending on how you're living or what you're living. I mean, if you got 4 or
That's
5
doable.
people in
Yeah.
a house getting that, and you're
Especially if you're like a college
Yeah.
girl or something like that, because I don't know. I just see
It's more than a firefighter was making a month ago.
right,
in this county, absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no payroll.
Especially take home. Especially take home. I don't know. That also goes back to what I was talking about before. It's like, so we just had obviously a tragedy yesterday morning, right? In Texas. So you could tell. I personally, I look around for stuff like this because like something's wrong with my brain and I can't stop hearing and feeling and seeing everything around me, right? So I felt like this morning I saw a lot of people that were just perturbed for like no reason. Driving, they were pissed off. At the restaurant, they were unhappy. Like they didn't look happy. And a lot of that I feel like comes from, we're all pissed off about. Like there's nobody that was like, sucks, whatever. Like everybody is pissed off about it. And if if you watch anything about the news, it's been all over the news, right?
What
So
happened in Texas?
they had a school shooting yesterday. Yeah. So, with that, like it was tragic. Like the whole situation's tragic, And I just feel like this morning you could feel it in the whole community. And you're probably all over the country.
Yeah.
But the place that I didn't see it and the faces that I didn't see it on was like these college kids that were in the restaurant that we were in this morning. All the older people just looked pissed. Just looked like they had this weight on their shoulders. These college kids didn't have a care in the world. Didn't affect them. They didn't give a shit, It's interesting to me, like, if they are able to do, and I say college age, doesn't necessarily mean they're in college, but college age, if they are able to work this unemployment thing, and it keeps them from having those stresses or having to worry about what's going on in the world, that's a very interesting thing. Like, Tila said that whenever she was, when 2008 happened, the recession, she never even knew that it happened. She had no idea.
No idea.
Me either.
You didn't know that there was a recession in
I
2008?
knew that there was a recession. It didn't affect me.
Animal crackers taste the same before
Exactly.
and after.
Because I was working service industry jobs
Yeah.
at the time, so
Yeah, it didn't really affect you.
it didn't affect me. People were still going out
Makes
to eat.
sense.
It sure affected me. I can tell you that.
Brother, there's so many people. And this is about to, what we're going into right now will affect a lot of people the same way.
Sure.
But no matter how broke you get, quote unquote broke, no matter how hard your life gets, you have a shower, you have air conditioning, you have some sort of, if you don't have a house, you got a friend that's got a house, they're gonna let you stay
Couch.
with them. You have a couch. Solomon knows he's always got them animal crackers. You know what I'm saying? He's always got, we always have something to fall back on because Genghis Khan does not rule our land, right? We people spend so much time with like Joe Biden's an idiot. This president we have, my life is so hard because this president. Shut up! Stop! This dude doesn't care one bit if you're pissed off. And you shouldn't care one bit if he says something either. It doesn't, you can't change it. You ain't doing shit about it. Quit. Live your life and take a deep breath and just be like, man, I got this awesome family. Dude, I hang out with my mom and dad all the time just to be like, I can hang out with my mom and dad. Solomon don't get to fucking do that.
There's lots of people that don't.
I just felt this weird thing come over me. I'm going to stop talking about that because I'm about to cry.
You said stop, and the air conditioner was like, fine.
Yeah, there's perspective, man.
Bro,
It's
you guys have this platform. Like, keep people going in that direction.
Yeah.
It's y'all's, I'm not going to say it's your responsibility. Y'all can do whatever you
we
want.
feel
with
it
your
as a
podcasts.
responsibility. Yeah.
Jesus, man. Show people that, like, you know, you guys help people, and you help people when they're at their worst. But even their worst, we've got it great. You know? Even at our worst, we got it great.
I think y'all might be familiar with the names. I don't know if anybody else in this room will, but Solomon and Dane, y'all will be. Mike Glover and Andy Stumpf. They said it. They just did a show recently, not too long ago, but they said it. And Dakota Meyer, he says it in his new book that, you know, the American spirit is far from dead.
Brother.
Far from dead.
Look out in the real world. That's absolutely right.
You
That's
got
absolutely
to
right.
look past the smoke and mirrors of what you see
Talk to
going
real
on
people
in the world. It's far from dead.
And you know, the biggest problem that we have right now, and the shit that used to just burn Solomon up, there's I heard a guy say it the other day, someone, I can't remember who the hell it was that said it, but he said that we've gotten to a point now where, like, the consequences for being a dick have gone to zero.
That's right. Because
Like-
you can't get punched in the face
Exactly.
anymore.
Twitter, you can't get Twitter punched in the face.
That's right.
You can't get, you know, Facebook punched in the face. And this, you know, that whole thing, like, people are so sad and they just want to put their sadness on everybody else. And that shit spreads like wildfire, bro. Anytime I see that stuff at my shows, they're the first ones that I just beeline away from anything that they got going on over here.
Don't
know what I
bring
mean?
that shit to Mike
That's
Tyson. He'll still
exactly-
punch you in the face.
He will absolutely punch you in the face, cuz. Airplane and all, son. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
happy he didn't get in trouble for
Dude,
that.
yeah, for sure.
Yes, no
For sure.
doubt.
And I was,
No
you know,
doubt.
I was extremely happy too that, like, the thing with Neil, which one do they talk about in Sweet Home Alabama? Yeah, I heard old Neil sing about it. Neil Young, right?
Yeah.
Neil Young made that stink about the Joe Rogan thing and
Yeah.
the Spotify
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
and they just took
What a
all his
cunt.
shit out. Well, seriously, that's the way it should be.
Right.
Like, start, you know, if we stop paying attention to these babies and just be like, okay, this is what you want, have it. We're gonna keep living our lives.
Yep. You mentioned the news earlier. We had on Kim Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
That's who you should go get.
That was
your
like one
news
of my
from.
first crushes.
Is that right?
Like, yeah, but back when she was Kim
I understand.
Kopka, she was,
I remember-
bro,
I understand.
She still got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a lot older than us. She still got it.
I was starstruck.
Mm.
Yeah.
I met her up there on the street,
That's it.
taking her down to my basement.
Look, life is good.
No,
awesome.
I went up there and met her, and
I can't wait to watch that podcast. Is
brought
it
her-
up yet?
No,
No, we just recorded it.
was bringing her down, and I like opened the gate up there. She was like, "Oh, this isn't sketchy." I was like,
I said the exact same thing. It's like some sex dungeon you guys are doing. What kind of
"We got to do something different."
sketchy as hell.
Everybody
We
says
usually
that.
don't get dark meats. It's gonna be awesome.
We gotta frighten you first.
Yes. But dude, no, that you were saying to get the news from her. Is that what you? Why were you saying that?
Yeah. After
Without
that-
giving too much away of what
Yeah,
happened.
but after the conversation, we learned that you can trust the way she's doing the news. Like, she owns responsibility for, like, she doesn't create this information, but she takes responsibility for sharing it appropriately, and she's not going to kill you with a bunch of negative.
For sure.
She likes this balance, but it's a really good conversation.
Absolutely.
Check it out for sure.
We need more of that.
Yeah, I know for sure, and we need more of just people thinking on their own. You know, with this kind of the news feed. That's one of the things that is so disgusting to me, and I kind of have just. I know you guys told me not to step away from it, but I kind of have not thrown my hands up, but definitely paid less attention to the thing with the school board, because it's gonna be the same thing that it's been since. Like, if you guys watch 300 and you see all those politicians,
Oh, yeah.
right, and you it's the same shit since the beginning of time.
Absolutely.
They're literally voting not on me. They're not voting on whatever my show's got to do with or what kind of impact I could have on a child's life. They're voting on D's and R's. That's it. What are my Democrat fucking whatever buddies doing, and what are my Republican buddies doing, and what can they do for me? And that's the way it's always been. And it doesn't matter if they're doing it on the state level, the federal level, or for your children. And you know, they keep having all these school board meetings. I watched them all lately. They keep having all these school board meetings asking these questions. Why are all these kids getting taken out of public schools? We have to figure out how to stop these kids getting taken. It's because y'all are a bunch of Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah,
Y'all
dude.
are not people voting for what's best for these kids.
Your 300 movie analogy with the politicians?
Absolutely.
It's spot on.
Absolutely. That's exactly how it is. And I was reminded, whenever I had to be involved in all this stuff, I was reminded why politics are disgusting, and I keep them out of my life. Because there's nothing that they can do or say that's going to affect my happiness one way or the other. I'm not going to let it happen.
That offends them, by
Absolutely
the way.
right. Be offended. I hope I offend any of them.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't care. Because
I'm
they
with
don't
you.
care. They don't give a shit about what's better
Yeah.
for our community. They
It's
give a
true.
shit about what's better for their bottom line.
I think we need to take a page from old school France and just start beheading politicians.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Just guillotine.
This has got morbid.
Yeah.
I'll look into that whenever I get home. But off with his head.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Off with her head. Yes.
When Sleepy Hollow was shot in town, I was watching it because I was trying to get on it to do stunts.
That's where you
so-
got this information from.
No,
or
no.
whatever.
So
Historian overnight.
yeah. watching Sleepy Hollow because I was like, all right, I need to see what they're doing, make sure I have the skills for the stunts for that. It's being shot here. I need to get on that. But I was watching the show and he was like the guy, he's from the past or whatever, and he's walking out of a bakery and he had some pastries and he was like, a 4% tax, no, it was a 7% tax on baked goods. We went to war over 3, right? I was like, damn, he was right. We started a whole revolution because of a 3% tax.
Right. I certainly don't get into the what he's saying is correct, but like you could harp on it and make yourself mad about it all day long, or you could be like, I have to live my life. Like unless I'm gonna start this revolution,
I got too much shit to do. I'm not doing that.
I ain't starting a revolution.
too much.
My life. I still have air conditioning. I still have a shower.
You're starting, or yeah, but you're not starting, but you're participating and you're doing your due diligence right now.
Yep.
The most powerful thing that you have is what you're doing right now.
Man, I hope that
Is your voice.
whenever you people have, whenever you
What do you
guys
mean, you people?
have, I hope that when you white people have me on this show, that no, man, I just always hope that that the people do take something. Like I never feel like a fucking prophet, but I can't stop my brain. So I always hope that I can just pass something along to somebody where they're like, man, that guy with that stupid haircut is not as stupid as I thought.
Well, I don't follow you closely on social media because I don't follow anybody closely on social media. Don't take offense to
No,
that.
I'm not offended.
But I mean, what you're doing with your brand and bringing folks like Solomon and all these folks into the fold, representing this message that what it is that you're doing, that's loud, dude. I mean, there's no denying it. So I mean, it's easy for somebody to sit back who's not doing anything and saying, well, I mean, what are you gonna do about it,
Brother?
Well, you're doing it. I mean, you're doing it. So
I think that's why they hate you so much.
Yeah.
It's an honorable message.
you're doing it.
Yeah.
So
They don't want you indoctrinating them kids,
That's right.
Yeah, the-
giving them hopes and dreams.
yeah, we can't
Free
have
thinking.
that. Yeah, we can't have all that
Yeah,
thinking
the-
stuff.
the folks who are scared to do anything are the ones that throw the first stone. They're terrified to do anything
They're
about
scared
it.
to do it themselves.
That's
and they're
right.
Damn sure scared to see somebody else do it.
Oh yeah, terrified. That's right. So you're doing it. Hey, bro, stay your course. Stay your course, man.
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing it one way or the other, or the other, I guess.
Does it make you happy?
For sure.
Okay, so
For
then,
sure.
hey, let's talk about perspective.
That's it. No, hey man, you ain't gonna change mine, bro. You ain't gonna hurt my happiness.
Paddle that fucking surfboard, bro.
That's it. Yeah, all day, bro.
Let's get it.
Yeah, my surfboard, my Tesla on, and I'm good to go. Good to go. Yeah, I ain't got shit else. Anyways, wrapping it up, we're gonna get on down the road. Any final thoughts? I want to hear a final thought from American Ninja Warrior.
You just put me on the spot like that.
Solomon
Fucking
Harvey.
legend.
Yeah. The legend,
An absolute
American Ninja
legend.
Warrior, Solomon Harvey. There's never been another Wilmington American Ninja Warrior winner, has
there
there?
have been people who have tried, but nobody. I don't think anyone's made it as far as I have
As
from
to
one.
Vegas.
Often imitated,
Never duplicated.
That was pretty amazing.
There's a female city fireman who was on it.
Nuh-uh. Oh, that's right.
Oh, dude, so there's been 2 chicks on American Ninja Warrior from Wilmington. Solomon and the other girl.
Yeah, both of us. Both of us. Thanks for using proper pronouns. I appreciate that.
She, her. I forgot about that, dude.
Solomon would be a great fireman.
I forgot she was a fireman too. Man, y'all need to figure out who that was and get her. Yeah, you know who she is. Y'all get her.
We should get her and Solomon to fight
That's
in this
right.
room.
You'd have them swinging from the roof.
Yeah.
Competition. The two ninja warriors from the area to do the firefighter under a minute competition.
Ooh.
Such a good idea, dude.
I'm gonna get smoked.
Yeah, dude, it would be so much fun though. We do it for charity or something. Stunt shows for kids. So,
It could be a partnership. PFFBNC, charitable
PFFBNC,
fund. There we go. It could be a partnership. Look at us brainstorming.
bro, that's awesome. All right, I got you sidetracked. I'm sorry because I was talking about stunt shows. for
Final
kids.
thoughts. Hit me, Solomon. Drop some wisdom, brother.
Final thoughts.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what everybody's saying in the media. Just be kind to each other. Be nice to each other, and paddle your boat as big as a boat as you want.
So good, so good. I can't stand it.
Anything from you, Dane? Or have we heard enough?
Dude, I'm gonna go back to your happiness is up to you. Like there was something when I was driving the tractor today. That's what the only thing that I mentally was like, man, I want that to be broadcasted. Everything else we can bullshit through it all day long and have a good time with everybody. Please understand that your happiness is up to you. It absolutely, don't let anybody tell you different. Don't let anybody on social media tell you how you should feel. Nobody on the news tell you how you should feel. The world's full of bad stuff. It's always going to be full of bad stuff. It's been that way since the beginning of time. In 300, it was that way. Now it's that way. In Genghis Khan times, it was that way. You live whatever life you can live.
As somebody who slept on couches for years and walked everywhere.
Had nothing.
Everything that I owned fit in a backpack because all I had was a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like, things can change. You got to put in the work, put in the time, find out what you want and what you want to do. I live a fantastic life. I have a wonderful wife at home who makes so much more money than I do. Who's happy
Even
with
now.
me.
Truth comes out.
Jumping and flipping off of things. And, I have friends who keep me grounded and have my back, and I get to do cool shit like this and hang out with you guys. Like, going from that to where I am now, I am blessed.
Man, stop. This man worked his ass off, and he was fortunate that he had a couple dudes around him that were like, "Hey, man, you keep doing what you're doing, and don't be don't be a punk." Right, like you keep pushing, and he has. I'm telling you right now, this dude has come from nothing. I can't even stress it enough. Animal crackers.
Animal crackers.
I believe it. I believe it.
I got a reason for asking this one. Where do your most creative thoughts happen? Like you said, riding on the tractor. Is that one of your
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's gonna be probably the main one. Is when I'm out there moving dirt around or something like that, and then. Unfortunately, it's at night when Tila's trying to go to sleep, bro.
right before I go to sleep
Holy
and in the shower?
cow,
Those
bro.
are my
Shower.
two.
My
100%.
brain.
The shower.
Solomon's had insomnia forever.
Yes.
So I don't know what that's like.
Feel that.
But I know that God knows I can't. And Tila gets so pissed off at me when she's trying to go to sleep. And I just wanna come do these ideas.
Isn't it the best dopa rush to have one of those creative thoughts, actually remember it, and then follow it through?
Bro, I've had 5 of those since we've been sitting here. Like things that I thought about, and I was like, man, I've got to talk about this. One of them being happiness.
You said happiness, right? Okay. It
said
definitely
it.
sounded like you said
It was
penis.
It was from
To him, it's the same thing.
It was from Les Franches. Les Franches.
Solomon says the same thing. Now, it's been a pleasure.
Dude, thank y'all
Always
so
is.
much. Thank
Solomon,
y'all.
it's been a pleasure. Always welcome here. That door, the creepy stairway, all that. Man, it stays open all the time. Y'all are always welcome here. It's always a blast having y'all on.
Love y'all.
Yeah, thank you for giving him permission to come. We know who's the boss.
That's
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Cool.
So Tila will be the thumbnambel of this video, right?
Please, Tila needs to be the thumbnail.
Right.
That way people actually watch it.
Yeah.
We'll take a cool picture.
Yeah.
Put her in the middle of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nah, it's been real. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.